I left this up because I'm a professional and I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. What is up, you beautiful people? This is Gary Horne. This is the NWA, the show celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time. Of course, we're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance, and we're starting earlier than normal. Look at this. And a special guest already here waiting to talk to all of you, and that is the lovely Pollo Del Mar. Hello, Pollo.
Hello, Mr. Gary Horne. It's about darn time you got me up on here. You had all them other guests and people popping in here and just no time for the lovely Pollo Del Mar. The audacity and unmitigated gall. How very dare you?
It is a shame that we have not had you back on sooner, considering especially that you and your Thrill Billy Silas Mason are two of the most popular people in the NWA right now.
Well, ain't that the darn truth? Who knew that them darn dirty no-gooders were going to love us so much? But, you know, Mr. Gary Horne, I tell you right now, seeing people who are truly just true love just inspires people to come up in there and support you. That's why nobody could get behind that Miss May Valentine and Mr. Aaron Stevens, because those two were just a mess.
Well,
honey, that was a catastrophe.
Yeah, you got pretty involved in that wedding there. You got a little cake on you and everything. How you feeling after all that?
Mr. Gary Horne, I wanted to be there. I wanted to support Miss May Valentine. Miss May Valentine has been one of the nicest, kindest people to me since I joined the National Wrestling Alliance, and I'm assuming that's because she is confident in one of the only women on that program who is not intimidated by my glamour and beauty. And that's because, like her, they were toying with putting me on the cover of the Playboy. And I said, you know what? I just cannot go around flashing my knockers to everyone. That's why I try to cover up here for you, Mr. Gary Horne, because I know that you are a married man. I did not want to scandalize the wife back home. I've inadvertently wrecked many a marriage. But I said to Miss May Valentine, now, May, honey, I'm going to step aside. I'm going to give you this opportunity to show off all of your loveliness. And, you know, they said that they wanted me to have a Brazilian if I posed up in there, and I just gave them a Brazilian instead. You know how it was. It was a trade-off.
Want to give a quick shout out to the chat and also an appreciation to you, Pollo, for thinking about me and my marriage, because the wife could always be watching. So I appreciate that.
You never know. Like I said, I cannot tell you the number of times I've inadvertently destroyed a happy home.
Well, in the chat right now, you got
my happy home. I inadvertently destroyed them too. But you know, sometimes a girl has to go through a lot of men to find a thrill, Billy.
I was about to say, it was Thrill Billy seeing anybody. Did you break that up at all? Or
you know what? It was when we first met, it was a don't ask, don't tell situation. I just did not want to know. Look at that man, 6'6". Ooh, yummy, honey. I'm sure that he was breaking hearts everywhere he did go, but once he laid eyes on all this, how could he possibly pass it up?
I couldn't agree more. And then Thrill Billy's a big hunk of man, so good on you for that.
Hunkier, honey. Look at that. He's up in that Iron Claw movie. I said, baby, they cast you as Terry Gordy. You should have stayed a little plump. You don't need to be ripped like you're playing Carrie Von Erich up in here. Calm down with those there weights, baby. But since you got them, you better bring those abs over here and bring that washboard stomach and let mama do our laundry.
You got Mandy in the chat saying, look out, Gary. She said 7 married men and at least 3 were hers.
You know, that's exactly right, honey. That is the darn truth. I've had many, many husbands, and at least 2 of them were mine.
Oh, that is awesome. Let's see. And Polka Dot Pam is saying I guess we just let anybody join the live stream these days.
Of course we don't, Polka Dot Pam. That's why you ain't up on here with your tawdry polka dot harlotness. That woman, I'm telling you right now, Gary, thank God in heaven that she's fixated on that masterpiece, Chris Adonis, because once she wants to get her hooks in somebody, she just don't know when to give up. If she ever laid eyes on my Thrill Billy, we'd be down one very enthusiastic audience member. I'll tell you that, Mr. Gary Horne.
I believe that. That is that's a fight I don't think the NWA arena can handle. So we don't need that.
I don't think so. Well, she's also very lucky that I just do not look enticing in the polka dots, or I'd steal her whole darn look.
That's a good point. All right. Well, you're doing good with the leopard print there, and not that I was looking in that area, but
Mr. Gary Horne, my face is up here, honey. My face is up here, honey. I tried to make my name look real long so it would cover my voluptuous cleavage, but my God, I just can't seem to help it.
All right. Well, so Pollo, I wanted to talk to you today because we got a lot of things going on. We got 312 coming up.
Absolutely, have so much going on, Gary.
And I know we're going to see you in Chicago. Is that right?
You know we are. I am just so excited, Mr. Gary Horne, because the National Wrestling Alliance, we are the oldest existing and continuously promoting wrestling promotion in the entire world. And we have been around for a good long time, but we have been somewhat secluded, if you will, down in the South. Now we're taking our show on the road. We just came from over in Tampa, Florida, a hotbed of professional wrestling action. And now we're going to be in the Midwest on April 7th. That's a Friday, y'all. We're going to fly in. We're going to put on the 312 pay-per-view. It is going to be spectacular. And then on the 8th of April, anyone who wants to and is available can join us for 2 days of television tapings, Mr. Gary Horne. Can you imagine that? Being able to sit in the audience and see yourself week after week on NWA Powerrr and NWA USA. NWA Powerrr, our flagship, every week at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time on the NWA's YouTube. And of course, nothing will get you through a Saturday afternoon or morning quite like NWA USA, noon Eastern Standard Time, free of charge on the YouTube.
That's true. That's a good point. And I'll tell you, the audience members are just as important as the talent in the ring at those shows. Like that, they offer and contribute and change the whole mood of everything.
They surely do. They surely do. And you know what? I tell people, Mr. Gary Horne, I was doing a little bit of media today. I just put on some chapstick and a little bit of mascara this morning when I woke up because I knew I had some media dates. And I was telling one of those individuals who was speaking to me about 312 that one of the things that is so vastly important for our NWA TV taping specifically is our audience. The NWA family is so extremely integral. Their energy, their excitement, their enthusiasm, their passion for the NWA and all of our stars is just palpable. And the louder they are, the more they cheer, the harder we as the entertainers are going to work for them. And it just comes across on television, on the pay-per-view. We are so excited to have the best audience, in my opinion, in professional wrestling. They are there supporting us and loving us all the way back to our glory days.
Yeah, I remember when I was a fan just sitting at ringside that back in the early days of the NWA, when I first started up a podcast, Jim Cornette was there, and he would come out, and before the show, he would even express that to the audience. He was very clear about, like, you know, if you go on Jimmy Kimmel or somewhere else and the audience doesn't laugh or they don't react, then the show is not funny. He's like, that's how important you are. He's like, whether you think it sucks or whether you love it, you need to make noise. You need to be out here and get rowdy. And those people in Atlanta would, and I'm hoping for the same in Chicago.
You know, Mr. Gary Horne, the audience of NWA is quite honestly responsible for some of the most memorable moments of the last 5 years of the Lightning One era. I mean, could you imagine what it would have been like if the audience at those studios in Atlanta had not just fallen head over heels in love with the question mark? Really, right. What a missed opportunity and what a missed iconic individual in the annals of our most recent history is the question mark, still to this day. And that is because the audience loves us as entertainers. They love the National Wrestling Alliance. And the Thrill Billy, Silas Mason, and I, Big Daddy Thrill, and I walked through those curtains to film our very first episode of NWA Powerrr right there at the Skyway Studios in Nashville. And I was, oh, my heart was a palpitating, honey. I was a Silas baby. I'm getting the shivers and the shivers and the tremors, you know, because I thought, what are these people going to think of us? I mean, I'm just another Southern girl like they are. And if they hadn't embraced me the way they had, well, history could have been very different for us.
That's true. That's a good point. I think the audience has latched on to you, and it's been like a rocket ship for you guys since then. And I mean, you guys are getting some great opportunities. I actually, now that we're talking about that, we're talking about 312 and Arissa. I see you in the chat. I am paying attention to Facebook too.
Hi, Arissa Bean.
I want to make sure that I am acknowledging everyone here. She loves that you're such a wrestling historian. That is or now I'm getting off track and I'm like going all these different tangents. That is something
because that is something that takes a lot of people by quite surprise, don't you think? Don't you?
No, that's exactly what I was about to bring up. People don't understand. They look at you and, you know, for whatever reason, they think maybe this person doesn't know everything about wrestling, or they're only into the current product or what they're doing. And you are a historian as far as wrestling is concerned. You know it all from way back.
You know, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Gary Horne, I think that there is a reason that so many women who support the National Wrestling Alliance have just found a kindred spirit in me. And that is because history has shown us that people will overlook and underestimate someone simply because they got a pretty face and a nice set of lungs. Right. So I am more than delighted to blow people's minds with my knowledge of the professional wrestling industry and our historic firsts throughout the time, as well as people who are icons, to be able to recite some of the most legendary facts about individuals and icons of our sport. And that's because people nowadays, I think, when they think about old school wrestling, they're talking about maybe at most, oh, Gary Horne, keep that light low like that, sir. You look the best.
Oh, what'd I do? Okay. Oh, no, I can, I'm sorry. I'll lower it.
No, don't worry, honey. I'm accustomed to you by now. So, you know, I think that people are shocked and amazed that when I reference old school wrestling, I am not talking about 20 years ago. There's no Attitude Era reference for me. You know, I am talking about things that transpired in the 70s and the 80s, and things to me that even happened in the 90s. Some of them don't even feel that old school because they still feel very modern in the way the stories were told and the way the action was transpiring. So when people join me, for example, on my Twitch stream, and many of the people in our chat today, I see them pop up and support me on the Twitch, and they are there because I am some people say that I'm a bit of a historian, but I think I'm a bit sexier than that. But, you know, there's nothing wrong. History is sexy. Knowledge is sexy. No wonder I'm such an icon of glamour and beauty.
Oh, you're the total package. I appreciate that about you.
Honey. I got him right here behind me.
That's a good point. All right. Oh, well, I apologize.
Yes, he is. He's a former WCW world champion, which shares a bit of lineage with us. Never was able to get that NWA world title, though, unless we recognize it. I don't recognize it.
Yeah. I don't think it's officially recognized, but that's but we recognize him as a former NWA star. So
oh my God, honey, he held every title possible practically in the NWA except the 10 pounds of gold. You know, he was a United States champion. He was a tag team champion. He held it all. He really did. And of course, I think he would be a first ballot NWA Hall of Famer in anybody's mind.
That's exactly right. And chat, I see you asking questions for Pollo here, and I want you to hang on to those too, because I do want to be able to get some time in with Pollo to be able to speak with some of you folks there. And I appreciate everybody being here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube and all over the place. But before we get there, I do have to talk about something serious with Pollo, and I don't want to touch too much of I don't want to touch too much of a nerve, but I do want to go back to 312 real
Careful
quick.
what you're touching, honey, and make sure to ask permission first. I know darn dirty no-gooders like you get a little handsy after a
what can I say? You bring it out with the lights dimmed, and I don't know. It's a different side of me. It's wild, man.
Oh, God. It's Gary Horne after dark, y'all. Honey, I'm on the West Coast. It's middle of the day here. Don't go getting me too feisty.
Pollo, you're going to be in Chicago. You just confirmed that. You're going to be at 312, but we don't know what you're doing. And it's strange because I see you guys had a great backstage moment with May the other night. You and Thrillbilly talking about this. He's been very adamant, very vocal, as you have, about wanting a shot against Scion and that national championship. But as we see here, I'll throw up the graphic real quick. Scion is going to be defending that championship at 312 against EC3, which is a unique story there all on its own because these guys have all worked together before. But I'm curious your thoughts when you see something like that, this title that you guys have been after, and Thrillbilly's been on a streak himself. And how are you feeling about that?
How am I feeling? Mr. Gary Horne, I'm madder than a puffed toad. This is ridiculous, honey. I am not trying to slight Mr. EC3 in any capacity. This gentleman is a former multiple-time world heavyweight champion. So he has held championship gold in almost everywhere he's been. But the fact of the matter is, does his track record in the National Wrestling Alliance merit him jumping over the Thrillbilly Silas Mason? That's the question that's begged to be answered here. I'm angry, and honey, I'm just flustered. I am truly beside myself that somebody like G's could suddenly, out of nowhere, it seems, align himself with EC3 and manage to work his way into a pay-per-view title opportunity against someone like the Great Scion. Now, let me tell you something. I personally understand why EC3 would want this match. And I can guarantee you I know why the Great Scion and his daddy/manager, Austin Idol, want this match. And that is because, as great as EC3 is, honey, he is not on the hot streak. He does not have the rocket strapped to his back. He does not have the fan support or the support at ringside of one Thrillbilly Silas Mason, honey. And the only thing that's going to look yummier than 6'6" of, ooh, yummy honey, Silas Mason, is Mr. Silas Mason, Big Daddy Thrill, with that NWA National Championship around his waist. And I can promise you, the first opportunity that he and I have to clash with the Great Scion and the international heartthrob, Mr. Austin Idol, that title will be coming home with us.
Now, you don't have a preference in that matchup necessarily, or it sounds like you want to get Scion in the ring and be out there with Austin Idol. Okay.
It does not truly matter who walks out of Chicago with the NWA national title at NWA 312 on April 7th. And the reason I say it doesn't matter is because whomever happens to have that championship in their bag when they walk out, that person has a date waiting with the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, and the best they can hope to do is keep it warm before we get our hands on it. But the reality for me is we do not have a bone to pick with EC3 and Black G's. My bone to pick is with the Great Scion, who people will have to recall just a few months ago stole victory from the Thrillbilly Silas Mason down in New Orleans. That victory, Thrillbilly Silas Mason was beating that child from pillar to post, darling. He was leaving full handprints covering that man's entire chicken chest. And yet, with some advice from his daddy, the great Scion threw his feet up on the ropes, and when I was not present, was able to steal victory from the clutches of defeat. That's what happened. It was stolen victory. And when we have the opportunity, Mr. Gary Horne, I promise you, no matter how great and storied the career of Mr. Austin Idol might have been in the ring and how successful he has been as a manager outside it, Austin Idol in his entirety can't hold a candle to the lovely Pollo Del Mar. And even if he did, honey, I look delightful in candlelight. So go ahead and try, Austin Idol. But your son is no match for the greatest man walking this earth. And that is indeed the thrillbilly Silas Mason, honey, your next NWA National Champion.
Love that. Well, you know, I was going to ask you, I think we kind of have the answer, but, you know, you being such a historian, being out there next to, like, assuming you get the match with Scion for the national title.
We're going to get it as soon as he stops running. And at the rate that he's running, the best we're hoping for right now is that he just trips, because he's not very good on his feet and not much better on his back. Now go on.
Axel yesterday, we need to have a battle royal or gauntlet match for the #1 contender to get somebody in there. But the reason I said assuming is that if EC3 is not the champion, I know that Thrillbilly is going to get that.
That is a safe bet. You know, this is a match between two great individuals. One of the things that I must tell you, Mr. Gary Horne, I'm not trying to belittle or deride either of these men for their talent. They're both top tier talents. They're both obviously accomplished. One is our reigning NWA national champion, and the other is a potential national title holder as well as a multiple time title holder worldwide. Both of them are great talents. Otherwise, they would not be in the upper echelons of the National Wrestling Alliance. So I'm not trying to belittle who they are and what they've accomplished. Honey, all I'm trying to do is point out that both these men rolled together ain't no 6'6" of ooh, yummy.
Well, I have to think too, like Thrillbilly, I mean, as much as you guys want that national title, and I don't want to make you jump ahead here, but that can't be the end of the plans for somebody as intelligent and lovely as yourself, Pollo. You have to be thinking even bigger as he collects gold in the NWA.
Well, darling, it's this is a lovely term you might learn if you read any literature besides a wrestling magazine. It's called a fait accompli. And what that means is that it's already written. It just has to be done. It is already destined. Look at this dog. He raised up just knowing like, ooh, that's right. Silas Mason's going to do it all. Honey, it's a fait accompli. It is already written in the stars. It just needs to be done. But in everything in good time. I told Silas, what we are going to do, baby, is we are going to come into the National Wrestling Alliance. And we are going to take this company by storm. And what we're going to start with doing is showing people that whether they think they like us or not, that's not my concern. They're going to learn to love us because everything we say we do, we do. We've said we were going to come in and wow them, and we have. We said we were going to go into NWA 74 last year and face Mr. Davey Richards in his hometown, and that the people were going to wind up cheering for us because we put on the match of the night, and they did. So whether or not we have our eyes set on something else, every step of the way is important because we're building not just a moment to become the NWA national champion or the NWA world champion. We are building a career that when people talk about the legacy and dynasty of the National Wrestling Alliance, they are absolutely going to talk about the Thrillbilly Silas Mason in the lovely Pollo Del Mar. That's a very long way of answering that everything has its time and everything has its place, Mr. Gary Horne. And right now we've got quite an NWA world champion in the Mr. Tyrus, Mr. Fox News himself, best-selling author and whatnot. So whether we choose to or not step into that arena sooner rather than later, that's yet to be determined. But we got things we want to do first.
Well, Thrillbilly's always calling himself the biggest man who ever lived or the biggest man in the world. And man, that Tyrus matchup, that'd be, I don't know, that guy seems pretty big too.
6'6", Thrillbilly Silas Mason, damn near 300 pounds. And in his case, it's all muscle, honey. Facing off against almost 400 pounds of NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, the great American Smash Tyrus. Now, darling, that's a marquee match. Put it on the marquee right now, Billy. Put it on for NWA 75 and watch how fast the Coruscant Ballroom in St. Louis sells out, sugar, because, woo, by the time summer rolls around, Thrillbilly Silas Mason and the lovely Pollo Del Mar are going to be red hot, hotter than a summer sidewalk. And
Now,
you better come correct if that's what happens.
Now, Polka Dot Pam is saying it's going to be Chris Adonis will be the world's champion by then.
And for Polka Dot Pam's sake, I hope. This takes us back, of course, to Chicago, April 7th for NWA 312. The masterpiece, Chris Adonis, a two-time NWA national champion in his own right, is going to be stepping into the ring against the undisputed holder of the 12 pounds of gold, the Great American Smash Tyrus, for the World Heavyweight title. Mr. Gary Horne, I think that is going to be one hell of a match, don't you?
I agree, Pollo, and I'm so happy you came here to. I mean, I love listening to you talk, so we got to get you on here more often for sure.
Sure as hell do, honey. Your ratings would just skyrocket.
Yeah, I agree. And I love how lively the chat is right now, so I appreciate that.
Chat's popping off, honey. They're living for it.
I'll give them one question before we got to move along here. When are you going to hit somebody with
Silvio? I have a bone to pick with him too.
Oh, you want to have Chris Silvio on too? I mean, he is in the green room right now, so he is waiting.
Green within the room, honey, because his people are not facing anybody for a title, are they?
Yeah, his Savages are going to be going up against the Country Gentlemen for the United States Tag Team title.
That is actually correct, but did you see those photos that Mr. AJ Kazana is posting on Instagram and the Twitter these days? You can follow him at AJ Kazana if you have not seen it, but honey, he has just packed on the muscle.
I'm bringing on Chris Silvio now,
dear.
just because
it's just about to hit the fan, y'all. He's drinking out of what kind of cup is that?
Mr. Esquire's in the house. Can you hear me, Gary Horne? Can you hear me, Pollo Del Mar?
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, Esquire.
What kind of cup am I drinking out of, you ask? Well, the cup I'm drinking out of right now is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championship trophy, first place. Medal around my neck, no-gi Jiu-Jitsu World Champion. These were won by none other than my client, Blake Bulletproof Troop. These medals here in my hand are from Mr. Esquire, 3-time state champion and catch wrestling champion. So are we ready for Chicago? Is there any question that we're ready for Chicago? We're the real deal. In the history of the NWA, you've never had 3 men as legitimate as Jack Stain, Blake Troop, and Chris Silvio Esquire. And Gary, I thank you so much for having me on today, because every time I try to do a promo or interview, William P. Corgan tries to silence it and cut it off as soon as he gets the moment. So I'm glad that I have this open forum to speak from the heart to all the great NWA fans, to let you know there's a reason we're called Savages, because we're legit as they come.
Chris, it's an honor to have you on here, sir, and
yes,
with
it is an honor to have me.
As I said, so it's this April 7th, you've got a big match, 312. It is Savages versus the Country Gentlemen for the United States Tag Team titles. Country Gentlemen took on a big team themselves when they won those titles. They took down the Fixers, and so you sound confident, but like Pollo was pointing out there, these guys are staying ready. They are constantly in the gym, working out. I know this may not impress you. You're clearly in a gym right now. So, but
yeah, I live in the gym.
So with Blake Bulletproof Troop, I know that he and Jack Stainer are very big men and very tough men. But do you have like? I feel like it's possible to be a little overconfident going into this matchup because the Country Gentlemen are not just going to lay down for these two guys.
So I'm an Esquire, as you guys all know. I spent a lifetime in combat sports, and I'm also a coach. So I teach everybody, you never look past any opponent. Like, for example, Pollo Del Mar, good friend of mine, Pollo claimed to have a bone to pick with me. I know it's all in good fun. But even if I were to
surely
step,
he is Mr. Esquire.
Okay, but if I were to step in the ring with Pollo next week, I know I would defeat Pollo in under 30 seconds, but I'm not going to look past Pollo. I'm not going to pretend that there's not a chance. The Country Gentlemen, they're tough. What's my language on here? Is it PG, PG-13, G? How are we looking, Gary?
I think we're PG-13.
PG-13, good. So can I say pissed off?
Yeah, I think that you're
just
safe.
Just can't say the F word.
I'm not saying the F word, you dirty do-gooder, or however the hell you say it.
Oh, you damn dirty no-gooder!
That one, that's the word. But no, frankly, I'm going to shoot for a minute because that's one thing about the Esquire is I never BS and I always say exactly what's on my mind. AJ Kazana pissed me off the other day. He gets on Twitter and posts some pictures of his body. Yeah, good for him. He's getting in shape. He ain't in Esquire shape. Okay, well, you might like it. He ain't in Esquire shape. He ain't in troop shape. He ain't in Dame's.
That's the truth. I have to acknowledge that.
Yes, you do, because you're an honest human being, and that's why I like you. But he had the audacity to talk about how he's going to kick our butts, hold on to his titles, or whatever. The way that I've been in the professional wrestling industry for about 23 years now. And on top of that, finished law school, passed the bar exam. I'm a very well-educated man. One thing I know about pro wrestling is you always respect those who came before you. And if there's one thing that you never, ever, ever do is disrespect a shooter. I liked AJ, and I'll tell the world. Kid would come up to me after his matches, say, hey, Coach Silvio, what do you think? Like, what could I do better to win next time? What can I improve on my technique? And I give him advice. And the dude has the nerve to come on social media and shoot on my team and my guys saying how he's going to kick our ass. No, that's not cool. AJ Kazana, we're going to put you in your place. You're a great young talent. AJ is a future world champion. 5-10 years down the line, but that day ain't today. And Anthony, he's a former powerlifting champion. I don't know if you guys know this. He's won all kinds of powerlifting, bodybuilding competitions. He drives a tractor around. He could probably lift the damn thing. But he's not Jack Stainer, who's the greatest heavyweight attraction in the world. And he's not Blake Bulletproof Troop, who is the deadliest force in combat sports. And he damn sure is not Chris Silvio Esquire, the greatest mind in professional wrestling today. So what are we going to do to the Country Gentlemen? Well, we're not looking past them, Gary. We're giving them all due respect. But we are coming to absolutely brutalize, dominate, and eliminate the Country Gentlemen from the NWA forever. There's only one possible outcome for us, and that's walking out U.S. Tag Team Champions.
Now, Mr. Chris Silvio, you know it better than most that I'm extremely aware of your career as an in-ring competitor. You are undoubtedly my all-time favorite person to have held the OVW Heavyweight Championship. You have a great wealth of personal knowledge of having competed. What, as somebody who is an experienced professional in the ring and great mind out of it, how does someone like you take a duo such as Blake Bulletproof Troop and Jack Stain, who, while both phenomenal athletes individually, have not had long to gel as a team, and guide them in a match where they are against a well-established and long-term team like the Country Gentlemen?
Put it this way. So let's say, Jax, I consider myself a general inside the ring and out of it. And Pollo, you can attest to the fact that inside those ropes, I am an absolute ring general. But let's just talk about being outside of the ring, okay? Jack Stain is the tank. Bulletproof Troop is the warhead. Chris Silvio Esquire is the landmine. When you put these pieces together, all you have is destruction. I don't care whether AJ and Andrews have teamed together for a year, 2 years. Professional wrestling is my life. This is something I live, something I breathe. Jack Stain, professional wrestling is his life. Combat sports, Blake Troop has literally been fighting since he was 14 years old. While he was off fighting, those two were probably trading Pokemon cards or playing Pogs or whatever the hell young men do. You know what we were doing at 14 years old? We were fighting. We were lifting weights. We were becoming top-tier athletes. So how am I going to coach a group like them against the Country Gentlemen? I don't have to coach them. All I have to do is prepare them, call the plays, and let them know when the openings are, and the boys will take care of the rest. And one day, finally, when Mr. William P. Corgan comes to his senses and stops smashing his brain like he does those pumpkins, he will realize that the Esquire deserves a shot in the junior heavyweight division. And when that day comes, not only will Savages be U.S. Tag Team Champions, but we'll also hold the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship, which is a personal goal of mine, and I call my shot today on this very show to you, Pollo Del Mar. The Esquire will be NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, whether Mr. Corrigan likes it or not, because facts are facts. We put asses in seats, we draw money, and we are the most legit thing on the show. And I got tons of respect for your man Silas. I think he's great. Nothing bad to say about Silas, but it doesn't get any more real than the three of us Savages. Does that answer your question?
But I'm concerned, though, Mr. Chris Silvio Esquire, that you are perhaps, in stating things like they were trading Pokemon cards, you're overlooking the fact that AJ Kazana is a multi-generational talent. This is a young man whose father and grandfather are, he is the legacy. They are both well-established Southern competitors, and he is the third in his lineage.
Here's the difference between Chris Silvio and AJ Kazana. Yep. His dad, his grandpa might have been professional wrestlers. Do you know what my father and grandfather did?
Well, no, honey.
They were soldiers in the United States military. I come from a military family. My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they all fought in wars. My father retired as a general. And that's why it's in my blood to be a general. I don't live the lifestyle of winning in the ring. My brain is set on war, defeating the competition. I've read The Art of War back and forth at least 22 times. That's the difference between me and Kazana. Yeah, his whole family might have grown up wrestling. My family grew up surviving for life or death. And that kid AJ doesn't know what that's like. He has no idea what it's like to be in battle where your life is on the line. He has no idea of the fear of not knowing if you're going to return to your family or if you're going to get sent home in a folded flag. But AJ, I know that difference. And you and Andrews, You're going to find out that difference April 7th in Chicago. Savages, we don't come to play around. We come to win wars. Sorry if I lost my composure there, but I get a little heated when we talk about this because that's how much passion I have for what I do.
Chris, there's a bunch of good questions in the chat, so thank you everybody in the chat. But one of the things I saw here, a couple of them I want to get to. One of them real quick. Cletus here saying that Dane's a big fella. I'll give you that, but can he coexist with his partner long enough to defeat the well-oiled machine that is the Southern Gentleman? Now we know that you think they can beat the Southern Gentleman, but what about that? When you get a couple of alphas like Jax Dane and Blake Bulletproof Troop, how are you maintaining them as a team that they don't get in each other's way in that kind of aspect?
Please tell me this is some form of satire.
I'm sorry. I just that's the question. Cletus Van Dam.
Cletus Van Dam, I thank you for the question. I am slightly insulted by it, but nonetheless, I thank you for your participation tonight. How they're going to coexist? They have the greatest mind in an entire generation of professional wrestlers standing outside the ring guiding them. And the two of them, name them. If Gary or Cletus Van Dam, Pollo Del Mar, whoever you are, name two people in the National Wrestling Alliance that could legitimately stand up to Troop and Jax Dane. And then while you're at it, go ahead and throw in any junior heavyweight that can stand up to the Esquire. 205 pounds of death and destruction and scientific wrestling like you have never seen before. So how are they going to coexist? One reason. Money. If they win, they make money. If they win, I make money. Why do you think I've been the representative of Jax Dane for so long? I put money in Mr. Dane's bank account, and I make certain that Mr. William P. Corgan does not do to them what promoters have done to wrestlers for generations, which is suck them dry, use them like circus animals, cast them off to the side when they're all done. I make sure they're protected. I make sure their finances are protected. I make sure I have their backs. And in return, there ain't a person in the world that's going to lay a finger on the Esquire. Gary, you're a nice guy, but I know you're a pretty tough guy too. You've probably been in a bar fight.
Yes.
Bar fight or two. Yeah. He's probably been in a bar fight or two. Pollo, I know.
I appreciate
no way
it.
to talk about his wife.
Pollo, I've seen you in a trailer park fight, and I know you're tough as well. So I'll ask both of you.
Oh my God, honey, you should see me when it's a Christmas time and there's only one sweater left up at the Walmart. Honey, I'll knock grandma down to get it.
I saw that viral video. Just imagine this scenario.
Oh my God, I can't believe people are still referencing it. That was 4 Christmases ago.
One of my favorite Christmas movies, but just imagine this scenario. On my left side here stands Blake Bulletproof Troop, deadliest force in combat sports. On my right side stands the greatest heavyweight attraction of all time, Jax Dane. Name one person in the world that's going to try to lay a finger on Chris Silvio Esquire. I'm untouchable.
I think that's valid.
No, it's certainly valid, and it actually kind of leads into another thing I wanted to mention that was getting brought up in the chat is people are talking about earlier. You mentioned how you well, here's Axel just saying, can you mark that on that in the ring? Because you said he had a great body and blah blah blah. So let's see if you have the same power in the ring that you have in the office. And I think where Axel's getting at is that Polio's already alluded to this with the OVW thing, but you're not just a manager. You've been in ring. Now, a lot of people may not know this about you, but you did, I believe, suffer an injury that prevented you from that. But I've been following your social media, and you seem to have been bouncing back from that recently. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think more directly, Axel's question is, we have not seen you prove that aspect of yourself here in the National Wrestling Alliance.
And that's fair, Axel. I'll respect that question. Gary, to answer your question, yes, I had a horrendous career-ending injury in 2019. I saw 6 different doctors that told me that I would never be able to wrestle again. I had a doctor that told me I couldn't even play softball, like rec league softball. And I told them from day one, I would prove them wrong. And this is a true story, God's honest truth, because Esquire only speaks the gospel truth. I sat down in my living room with a yoga mat with a set of 10-pound weights and a resistance band. And within the span of 2 years, I worked my way up to bench pressing over 300 pounds, squatting 400 pounds, deadlifting 450 pounds, while tightening up my grappling game and becoming a better wrestler than I ever have been. So yeah, you may not have seen the Esquire in the ring yet, but when you do, trust me, I am more than prepared. One thing my coach, the hustler Rip Rogers, always told me is one should never, ever be just prepared. It's not enough. You have to be over prepared. You guys see the way that I look. You see the muscle tone. Go and watch my social media. You can check out some of my videos of techniques, submissions, throws. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that Chris Silvio is 100% legit. Just like Jack Stain, just like Blake Troop. So Axel, I appreciate the question. All I'll say to you is I invite you to watch, because you're going to see a lot of pain and a lot of brutality. This is 4 years of pent-up aggression. Do you have any idea what it's like when you take a man's livelihood away for 4 years and he just has to sit on the sidelines and wait? Do you have any idea how much anger and resentment gets built up when the professional wrestling industry forgets about you after you gave everything you had to them for nearly 20 years? Next time I step in the ring, all of that's coming out. Every single bit is coming out. And when Mr. Corgan finally has the cojones to showcase the Esquire in the ring, I'm going to be a living nightmare.
Now, my question would be, we know what your expectations and plans are for April 7th, but when on your timeline do you see this return to the ring, Mr. Esquire? I mean, certainly we have an amazing roster of junior heavyweights with whom you compete. And so when could or would we expect to see you back in the ring in the National Wrestling Alliance?
So I have a match coming up April the 29th in St. Pete, Florida. I'm from Tampa, so roundabout in my hometown. And this is going to be a pure wrestling exhibition match. Catch as catch can rules, pinfall, submission, or knockout. Legit badass rules. I don't step in the ring to play, and Pollo, you've watched me for many years. You know how seriously I take my craft in the ring, and I may be nice to you here and backstage, but once I get between those ropes, there's nothing nice about Chris Silvio Esquire. So I do have my first match back April 29th. Then as far as when will you see me on National Wrestling Alliance television, pay-per-view, or programming, I've been petitioning for months. I filed injunctions, motions, notions, potions, anything you can think of. But here's the problem. When you have three men like us, we have the power to take over an entire organization. And when you have that kind of power, those at the top fear that, because they don't want to be proven wrong. They don't want to be knocked off their high horse. Mr. Corgan's horse is pretty high. He's sitting pretty somewhere in a mansion in Chicago. While I'm sitting here in the dojo, getting bigger, faster, and stronger every day, training my guys and turning them into human wrecking machines. So as soon as Mr. Corgan signs on that dotted line and wants to make some real money in the junior heavyweight division, that's when you'll see Chris Silvio Esquire.
The
palpable
Mr. Chris Silvio Esquire.
No, I got goosebumps thinking about that. Other people in the chat, I've seen it fly by a couple of times here, so I want to mention this. You know, we're talking about the country gentleman, and by all means, that's what we should be discussing. That's your matchup at 312 in Chicago on April 7th. But they're asking about other teams in the NWA. Like, what about La Rebellion? What are your thoughts on La Rebellion and your guys stacking up against a team like that's been so dominant?
I think La Rebellion, second to the Savages, are the absolute best team in the NWA. And they've proven that by holding on to the tag team championships as long as they have. Those are two men that I respect as professionals. We're friends behind the scenes. We get along very well. There's a mutual level of respect just between competitors. They know that we're dangerous. We know they're dangerous. And unless you've been in a ring before, you don't understand that dynamic and chemistry of when you know that somebody can go toe to toe with you. And it's just kind of like a wink and a nod kind of thing, like on any given Sunday. But as much as I respect those guys and think they've done a great job as champions, unfortunately, Mecca Wolf, Bestia, they don't match up with my boys. They're talented. They really are. I love those dudes. They're La Rebellion. They're luchadors. But unfortunately for them, they're not savages.
All right. Well said. Anybody in the chat want to throw anything else for Chris Silvio? We've got a little bit of time here left.
Throw it
Pollo,
at me. Throw away in the chat. Throw away.
Yeah. Another question I saw for either of you, and we can start with you, Mr. Silvio, is that do either of you have any interest in the women's division, not just your men that you have?
Absolutely. There are quite a few savage women that I've had my eye on for quite some time, and I believe in equal representation. I train quite a few women here at Death Proof Dojo in professional wrestling and mixed martial arts, and I'd love to bring one of those women onto the national stage to be a member of the Savages. One that comes to mind is La Brava Escobar. We saw La Brava recently on NWA television. La Brava got her teeth knocked out of her mouth. She got right back up, smiled, and went toe-to-toe with Markova, one of the toughest women in the NWA. That chick's a savage. So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag completely. There are some other women that I'm looking at. But yeah, equal representation in pro wrestling. I'm a huge supporter of women's wrestling, a fan of women's wrestling. And one thing I absolutely love as a coach, as a mentor, is showing these women how much of a badass they can be. Because unfortunately, as a little boy, my father taught me to fight. He's a military man. He had me in boxing gloves at 5 years old, showing me how to throw a punch. On a wrestling mat at 9 years old, showing me how to take somebody down. But unfortunately, a lot of women, they don't get shown that as a child, how to defend themselves. So they have to learn those skills later in life. But that's something I take pride in here at Death Proof Dojo, is I love taking a woman who is an athlete and doesn't think she can and showing her exactly why she can. We're called Death Proof for a reason. We're the toughest team in America, baby. And yes, absolutely, I'd love to add a woman under the ranks of the Savages. How about you, Pollo Del Mar? Who do you think would fit with you and Silas?
Well, you know what? First of all, I never trust no other women around my 6'6" of ooh, yummy honey. So those ladies better look elsewhere. But the fact is that I do think that there are some individuals, if circumstances presented, that I feel would certainly benefit from the wisdom and guidance of someone like myself. I think that there's a lot of, in terms of our women's division in the National Wrestling Alliance, I am always amazed at the depth of our roster, the talent level that these women have, the commitment, the true skill that they have to get in there, and the passion to win and hold championship gold in the National Wrestling Alliance. And speaking of that, we've got a great representation of that at 312. We're going to be seeing the one-time Brick House champion Camille facing off against La Rosa Negra, who is at such a young age already a world-traveled and extremely well-known competitor. So these two women are already rising to the top of our division. And then we've got others like Miss Kenzie Page, so young, so talented, going to be already confirmed for the finals of the NWA Women's Television Title Tournament. And of course, we've got our women's tag team champions, Misa Kay and Maddie Rinkowski. Just Maddie, around here. But, we've got these incredible talents, I think.
Around there or around, what do you mean?
What?
Maddie, just Maddie around here. What are you talking about? Like around
Maddie around here. Matt, we only call her by her first name. She's like Madonna up here in the National Wrestling Alliance. But I've worked with her elsewhere, and I know her by her first and last name, and it is just my I don't know, inclination.
You know her by her Christian name.
Well, I know her by her whole name because that's what she wrestles as elsewhere. Mr. Chris Silvio, Esquire, stop trying to trip me up.
I have two questions for you, Pollo Del Mar. Gary, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to ask.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, Pollo, question number one, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. You know, I respect you. Are you aware that the word champion has an I in it?
That's what I said. Champagne.
Okay, fair enough. Question two, let's lay all of our cards on the table, okay? Honesty between two friends. Can we agree to that?
Sure.
I'll pick one, you pick one. Number one draft pick for a woman to join my stable. Number one draft pick for a woman to join your stable. Who would you choose?
Who would I choose for you, or who would I choose for me?
For you. I'd make my own choices, Pollo. You know that. You're not going to choose anything for me.
I think for me, with the current we're talking on our current roster.
Current NWA roster, yes.
Absolutely.
Fantasy booking.
For me, my fantasy booking, I would add Miss Samantha Starr. And the reason I think that I would choose Miss Samantha Starr is because Miss Samantha Starr also has a tremendous lineage in the world of professional wrestling. And I think that coming from this is, I'm going to explain why, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like, first of all, we know that Samantha Starr's mama is the great Perfect 10 baby doll. Her dad is Mr. Sam Houston. Her uncle, Jake the Snake Roberts. So she comes from this tremendous family. And one of the things that as I interact with Miss Samantha, I notice that she's got tremendous talent. She sometimes, I think, lacks some of the confidence because I fear that she is in her head trying to compete with the legacies and legends of her family members. And what I would love to be able to do is work with her, because when you were saying earlier, like, you know, basically like real knows real, talent knows talent, like bad bees know a bad bee. And I never feel intimidated when I'm around other glamorous women because I know who I am. And I think that that's something that Miss Samantha Starr could be really benefited by having instilled in her. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who your mama was. She's amazing, but you're amazing too. And if you don't know it, nobody else is going to know it.
And that's true. That's why you and I get along. You're a bad bee. I'm a bad bee.
Absolutely.
And Samantha, that was a wild card, but an interesting choice. And now that you explained it, I know exactly why. Generally, I would say Camille Brickhouse, obviously. But Camille's got her own path. My number one draft pick, if I had to pick right now to join the Savages, I think this woman is the fastest rising performer, most improved performer I've seen in years, Kenzie Page. That chick is 100% bad A double crooked letter. And I think she has every bone in her body meant to be a Savage. So that's my number one draft pick. Kenzie, if you're listening, come down to Tampa, Florida, Death Proof Dojo. Let me show you a few hooks, a few knockout shots, and you too can become a Savage and win that women's TV championship.
Well, I'll tell you, I often do, like, on that same note, I often think about, sometimes I think those pretty empowered girls, they just need a mama figure. And I can't really do that, but I'm old enough to maybe be like a young, cool aunt, or like maybe a slightly older sister, the kind who just graduated right before you entered high school.
Like who buys you cigs and like will give you a beer or two, kind of thing.
Yeah, that exactly. I just guide them, get them on track with their lives. You girls are just running around here with all that talent, and I just want to I would love to take them to the next level. That little Roxy is something. She's a spitfire. Now that she's a redhead too, I'm just living for it.
Well, hold on though. You can't. This is no take backsies. I gave you your.
No, I still think Samantha Starr. I just say I often think about being to swoop in like a dead mother on that sorority.
Well, you swoop somewhere else and you leave Kenzie Page to me. I didn't come here to argue with you. We're great friends. I came here to speak.
Of course, we're not going to argue. My only bone to pick is how did you leave your lovely Pollo Del Mar shirt and a shoe somewhere at a TV tape? And how could you do that to me? How very dare you, Chris?
I find that shirt in my favorite pair of Esquire boots, safe and sound. You've seen me post. I promised you I'd post on social media.
Handsome in it.
I do. I thank you, Pollo. I look very great. And I've got a lot of compliments on it, to be honest. Gary,
guys, I don't want to interrupt this thing, but this has been a lot of fun. But I do have to move along with the show, and I think we've stumbled onto something. It's been fun having both of you on here and picking the brains of two of the best managers in the National Wrestling Alliance and wrestling in general. So this is
thank you for correcting yourself before I had to.
Yeah, sorry. No, just in professional wrestling. Excited to see the Savages on April 7th in Chicago, taking on the Country Gentlemen.
Your next U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Savages.
No matter the outcome, I'm not going to second guess Mr. Chris Silvio's prediction for that match. But what I certainly think is going to be the true winner is going to be the audience, because that is going to be a knockdown, drag out, Pier 6 slobber knocker.
Not even blowing smoke. I am excited about that match. These four guys are some tough hombres. So I want to see them. I want to see them in the ring. I can't lie. Pollo, we still don't know for sure. We talked about this. We don't know for sure about 312 for you and Thrillbilly, but we can confirm this. I did get this graphic a little earlier, but Thrillbilly tomorrow night on NWA Powerrr is going to be taking on Brady Pierce of the Spectaculars. Any quick thoughts on that before we wrap this part of the show up?
You know, Mr. Gary Horne, we said it very distinctly and succinctly at that NWA broadcast last week, where I said this is not a personal situation. Many people probably know that the Thrillbilly Silas Mason and Mr. Brady Pierce are cast in the Iron Claw movie as 2/3 of the iconic Freebird. So these two gentlemen tend to like one another, and I'm very fond of them. They're always lovely to me. This is a matter, though, unfortunately, where Brady Pierce has been sent into the lion's den as a sacrificial lamb. Thrillbilly Silas Mason quite clearly needs to prove to someone. It's not to me. I don't think it's to Mr. Chris Silvio Esquire, and it's certainly not to anyone in the viewing audience. But someone somewhere needs to see how dominant that man is and recognize that we need to be in the title hunt as equally as anybody else. Mr. Brady Pierce, bless your heart, honey. Tomorrow you're going to come in looking spectacular and leave with an L. I'm sorry to tell you. Better keep the bow tie on, honey. You'll be wanting to go dance somewhere else afterward to lift your spirits.
One more thing, Pollo. I appreciate your prediction, and I think Silas is going to win. But come on, be honest with your boy. We know why you like the Spectaculars. Okay, I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I do think that Rolando's adorable, and he did crawl inside my purse one night when I lost the keys to the car. He managed to find him and fish him out for me. It's better than having to dump your bag upside down, as every lady out there has experienced. When you can't find something, you just pick up Rolando by his little bow tie and be like, come in here, cupcake, and you just dump him down in there. He can root around and pop out with it. You're like, hey, I found your keys, and look, there was one Tic Tac. It was left in the bottom of here, and then you have fresh breath, and you get home all at once.
All right.
Gary Horne, do you have any further questions for me? If not, I got to get back to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
He works out 22 and a half hours a day. The other 90 minutes he sleeps and drinks.
That's how you get arms like that. So, no, I appreciate you both coming in and talking with us and with the NWA fam in the chat and everybody that's going to watch this video later or listen to it. So love to have both of you back very soon. And it's always good to maybe after 312, if your boys are wearing the gold, we can have all of you on, Chris.
We'll be back. Parting words, Savages, NWA 312, your next U.S. Tag Team Champions. Gary, you're welcome for having me on today. Pollo Del Mar, it's always great catching up with you. And look, we're about to be managers of champions. When Silas wins gold, when I win gold, when the boys win gold, we're going to go out to Golden Corral, and we can get anything.
Oh, honey, now you're singing a song. Take it to the chorus.
All right. Well, thank you guys. You guys have a good night. We appreciate you both.
Bye, sugar.
For the rest of the chat, if you're just joining us now for some reason, yes, we did start early today, and you're not late. It started early. We're trying a little something new today, and we had 2 opportunities for some great interviews, and the timing just fit perfectly to fit it both in the 6 o'clock hour, and it turned into something special, I think. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to take a 5-minute break just because I have to go to the bathroom, just being perfectly honest with you. And then we're going to come back, and it's going to be the regular show that you're used to. Joe Galli, Danny Dealz, and probably Kyle Davis will show up from some unknown location at this point. And it'll be the regular show, or as we probably should call it, the After Dark portion of the NWA live stream. And so when we come back, everybody will be here. So stick around. It'll just be 5 minutes. I'll throw up a little thing on the screen, and we'll be here joining you shortly. All right, we are back, and I'm going to bring on the boys. There's Danny Dealz, there's Joe Galli, there's Kyle Davis in car. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah, I had no idea when this was
second
actually really happening, so excuse me.
No, you're all right. It was
Fantastic. How were your interviews?
They were good. They were good. We Pollo stuck around for the whole time, and then we ended
nice.
up we had two of the managers in the NWA on the show, and just got to get to know them a little bit better. And now we get to go into the portion that we can talk about anything and everything NWA with the boys, the NWA fam. The chat is already here. They've been raring to go, and they've missed you guys. So it's good to have you back.
Look at this.
How are you feeling?
Doing a podcast. Not dangerous at all.
This seems really illegal for Kyle. Like, I know you're in Florida and you can do anything you want, but this seems dangerous, illegal, and foolish.
Hold on.
And he's not wearing any sleeves.
Seatbelt's on now. We're good to go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this is why it's the after hours part where Kyle does illegal things. So it's he's driving around.
Listen, Joe and I had a very busy day today, and our time management fell through. So I'm coming back from the gym over in that direction. I'm going to go grab myself a pub sub, hashtag pub sub. What's your favorite pub sub? And I'm just going to go on this. As soon as I get the ability to put my head over here. Well, if I go this low and you can see my face, though, I can't see the road anymore.
Yeah, put your face there more. Just keep it there.
Whoa.
Noni in the chat saying the insurance company is going to be pleased this is broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might notice my username today is Gamer Galli. I have recently purchased the Ambernick RG35 3V, which is a vintage video game gimmick here that looks like an old Game Boy. So if you'd like to know all the games that are available for it, I bought it so you don't have to. And the reason I bought it is because we're going to Australia, and that is a 20-hour flight, and I need something to pass the time. It's got Nintendo games. It's got Game Boy games. It's got Super Nintendo games. Tell me what you want me to look up. Put it in the chat what games you want to see as a potential. Look at all these different things. We got PC games, arcade games, whatever that is.
I've always been curious about these things. So this is interesting that you've gotten. Have you actually played a game on it yet?
I played a couple of things. The vertical games are weird, like when you want to play like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong, because you have to turn it sideways to play it, which is weird. There's no Mario games at all, but you can get them and download them for somehow. But they got Sega, Master System, all kinds of other stuff. So
are those buttons on the back, or is that some kind of
they're little trigger buttons. So like when you're playing Star Fox, you can do the little, little gimmick where you spin around.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'm enjoying it. It only has 6 N64 games, for example, of which you have a Carnivore's Dinosaur Hunter, which is actually Turok, but they mislabeled it. Castlevania 2, Doom 64, which is fun. F-Zero X, Star Fox, which I played, and the Ocarina of Time as well.
Well, you've opened up a can of worms here because we've already got.
There are several versions of Street Fighter.
We got Street Fighter.
There's Street Fighter 2. Marvel Superheroes is on here too. Street Fighter Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Street Fighter. There's a lot of Street Fighters.
Wow. And then. Well, you can look for these OG. Let's see, beach volleyball and asteroids are both.
Asteroids is on here. I don't know about Tarzan. Yes, I remember seeing Tarzan. I forget which system it's for. I think Polaris. I don't know about Buck Rogers though. I hadn't seen that. There is Oriental Legend, which just seems like a really racist, like Chinese character game they made on there.
Right.
And then there's Oriental Legend, like. Yeah, I don't know. There's Knights of Valor.
It might just be bootleg Shinobi.
Well, speaking of cool things,
RoboCop.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool things that you could buy. Ooh. I did want to bring up. Our boy Dealz is here, and he's been kind of quiet so far, but he has already sent in the hookup. If you weren't already aware, promo code SPRINGDEALS. That's your code right now for 20% off at nationalwrestlingalliance.com/shop. 20% off. This is not just, I would say it's not a gimmick. I don't know that I've ever seen this guy be anything other than Danny Dealz. Danny Dealz is legit as they come, and he is actually in that warehouse busted his hump for you people, and then he makes you these deals. He gets you 20% off so that you can enjoy yourself with some cool NWA gear. Dealz, I'm going to throw up some of this stuff if you want to tell the folks about them.
Well, don't throw up.
Those are the wall banners. Those are the 3x5 wall banners like the other ones I made.
Yeah, look at those.
Yeah,
Those
now
are beautiful.
3x5. You're talking 3 feet by 5 feet?
3 feet by 5 feet vertical image.
You need some space on that. Now, if I come to buy that, do I need to bring a tube or something to take that home with me? Like,
Of course you don't. They come folded up. It's flag material.
oh, that's nice.
They're basically giant flags.
Cool.
They come
That's
folded
nice.
up
And
in
the
a
Thrill
square.
Billy one, if you're going to come and buy something, you want to come and get that Thrill Billy.
I'll tell you what. See that Tyrus and Medusa work out for the tea house if you're going there, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why you got
Book
my
signing.
VIP tickets, everyone.
Yeah, for
That's
the
a
book.
good
Cool shit there.
Yeah.
And then we also got
There
these
we go.
guys.
Woo! Love that
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, these are all
silver?
pre-ordered, so you can pre-order them now, and they'll show up, and I should be able to ship them out in a couple weeks here, including
Well,
these tank top, got the new shirt.
Dealz, you told me the ever popular green hoodie is back in stock.
It is back in
Woo!
stock. Those shirts are still available, although the pink one's almost gone, and so is that silver one. The green hoodies, I just got them back in stock. I had to reorder them because everybody bought them in Florida, of all places.
Because they were dope.
It's air conditioned everywhere there, so you know
Yeah,
you
it
gotta
is.
bring a hoodie whenever you're there. I'm here
Well,
right now,
is-
baby.
that's the soft hoodie, like the Blue USA one, so you know what I mean. It's comfortable.
Feels good on your nipples when you're wearing nothing but that. I can tell you that much.
It
Question: is that the purple shirt and everything else going to be available for purchase in Chicago?
Well, it should be. Yeah, I should have it to ship out the pre-orders before I leave, and I should have all of it in Chicago. Plus, of course, I'm making a special shirt just for Chicago.
Nice.
It's a very nice shirt. It's only going to be there, and that's it.
Three,
So,
1, 2.
You got to be there, people. You got to be there.
yeah, it's going to be a nice shirt. And that purple shirt, Kyle, is the soft one, like you're always complaining that you like.
Oh yeah, the cool material.
Listen, I don't like a stiff T-shirt. I like a nice soft T-shirt.
That's a
Okay?
soft one. It's just like the.
I
it's
like
just
how it
like the
feels
pink
on my
one.
body.
And
When you got a
and that
body
tank-
like Kyle's, you want to have one.
actually,
That
who
fills it up.
who created that logo that's on the tank top there?
I have no idea. It looks like the old Georgia logo, but there's a globe in it instead. It's almost like somebody got bored one day and said, how are we going to be able to use this logo for something else? And then forgot about it. And then you found it.
Yeah, I thought you did it.
It was me. Yeah. I was just being all like that. Yeah. Logo.
It was me, Austin.
It was me.
It
I
was
forgot.
I
Stuff.
only say it because I showed you the mock-up of it, and you're like, holy shit!
I forgot that.
I
Guys,
saw it a
don't
long
be
time
stupid.
ago and forgot about it too. And then I saw it again. I said, well, son of a biscuit, it's got to be used.
Poor media. Where was the code last week when I ordered? Hey man,
We didn't
this is
have
why you
one.
got to
We got
watch the
real
show
long-
each week.
We had a real long sale before that too.
Danny, Carrie,
I'm only allowed to do it for
Danny's
10
always
right
coming
now. I
through
just-
for the people.
That's
I
right.
just got out of the SUV grocery store, and I got to tell you, it's chilly here in Florida. I regret not having the hoodie with me right now. Buy that. Danny Dealz isn't going to do you wrong.
That's right. They're going to be nice. I got to make some more bundles too. Actually, I tried to make the store more user friendly. So when you go to the shop button, there should be categories.
I saw that. It looks really
Yeah.
intuitive. So if you want to just check out the upgrades to the website, yes, I know everybody wants to make sure that we have a roster list up there. We're working on it. It's getting there. You know, we don't have these big internet crews. You know, we don't have like a whole bunch of digital people. I saw Gary sell for that.
I mean, you're literally watching 4 people that work for the company behind the scenes.
I was about to say, like Kyle makes a good point. I was literally about to say, I think this is pretty much it.
Heinz Ketchup is buy one, get one if you're near a Publix right now, folks. This is exciting.
I saw that mac and cheese.
I'm pumped
too.
for it. I am near a Publix, but you know.
Oh, it's
prefer
the tiny
ketchup.
bottles, though.
Catsup.
Mm.
Hey, Gary, how about we talk a little bit about what happened in the old Mexico land? It looks like our boys and girls did pretty good over there.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Yeah, Camille's team won, did they not? Camille and
there's a picture
Prazzo.
there, right there. Deanna Parazzo, Jordan Grace.
Prazzo.
Perazzo. I don't know why I said
Jesus
Perazzo.
Christ.
Wow, racist
Oh,
over here, Gary.
Just call me
Can't even-
Gary.
Against
Hold
Italians.
on. Hold on. Should we get those matching outfits for when we're in Australia in a few weeks?
That would be kind of cool. But yeah, if you missed that, this team was the winning team. Also, look at that belt. I was talking to Kyle and Joe about this earlier, but yeah, that belt's definitely bigger and shinier. You'll notice the Burke. It's looking better than ever.
Hey, Gary, it's not the size of the championship. It's what you do with the championship.
Well, I will take that comment and turn it into a Camille does nothing but win. That's what she does with it. So props to her. And she did it again in Mexico at the Lucha World Cup there. Team
Camille
USA.
told me before that she actually likes the belt at that size.
Yeah, that
She
she likes the belt.
All
That's nice.
She likes the
She's
belt
a
that
champ.
size.
She can have any size she wants.
Yeah. I've just seen people go, why did you give the women a small belt? She goes, I like it small. She goes, I like it the size of this. I don't want to carry around some big ass belt.
Yeah, well, this version she's got now, it's a little upgraded.
It's a little bigger, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, no, it's not like a major upgraded size. Yeah, for sure. It's just
Looks like a new strap, though, huh? I didn't notice that till you said that.
Yeah, look at some of the recent pictures. I think it caught us all off guard. It just kind of got silently upgraded, and so there it is. But definitely shinier than it was. Like it had more like a matte feel before. Than now, it's like.
Is that the same picture in there? You know who got that picture for? Me.
This picture here?
No, the picture that's inside the belt.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really get it for her.
But here
I got it
is
for
the
whoever
question.
put the belt together.
Whose picture is going in next? I don't know if anyone is.
Yeah.
No,
I think
don't.
that's permanent.
It's
I
over.
don't know. Who could stop? Look, dominant in Mexico again. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. La Rosa Negra. I mean, talk about an uphill battle in Chicago.
Yeah. It's going to be nuts. Like I love La Rosa Negra. I appreciate the attitude that she has and her ability in the ring, but I just don't think you make money betting against Camille. The Brick House always seems to come out on top no matter who she's in the ring with. Shout out to Markova. She was there as well, I believe. And Tom Latimer, his team, he was on Team Europe, and they ended up going to the semifinals.
Yeah, you know he's not from America, Gary.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
FYI,
he lives in America. He lives in the U.S. And so was pointing out that he was on Team Europe for the World Cup, though.
Our old friend Sammy Adonis was on the American team, I believe.
He was, yeah, with Christopher Daniels and forget who else now. Right offhand.
Either way, I can't wait to see it. I haven't had a chance to see any of that stuff. And good news, folks, we already have all of the footage from our friends at AAA from what we just recently did there in Mexico as part of the World is a Vampire Festival. So you'll be seeing that footage very, very soon. So stay tuned for that as well. Look at all this great stuff that's going on. Kyle, it's paying off, baby. He's not listening. He's trying to buy hot dogs or something.
No, I was getting a public sub. What happened? Just tell me.
Well, I thought you left your AirPods in the ocean again.
Yeah, I heard both of you talk. I have no idea what just happened.
He just told you it was paying off.
I heard an ocean. That's all I heard.
Oh, I thought you lost your earbuds in the ocean again.
Ah, there we go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, seriously, check out all this ketchup I'm getting. Isn't that amazing?
Well, sometimes you need ketchup.
That's too much ketchup. I'm more of a mustard fan. Like, all right, so let's go through this. I think everyone participate in the chat. If you're going, let's say, to Costco and you're just getting the plain hot dog, or maybe you're at a ball game, just the regular hot dog, I'm a mustard relish guy.
I'll just take whatever you got there.
Mustard
I'll take
relish.
the scraps. Don't worry about
Dealz,
it.
what do you put on your dog?
Ketchup in stadium mustard.
Ooh, stadium mustard.
Yes.
I like that. Gary?
What's the difference between stadium mustard and regular stadium?
Yeah,
Stadium, in the Rust Belt, brown mustard is called stadium mustard.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm a
Because
mustard
they only
guy.
serve it at stadiums. I don't know.
I'll take relish sometimes.
I'm also a fan of sauerkraut. I'll sauerkraut it up.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Kyle,
Kyle's shaking his head. He is not a fan.
Kyle, what do you put on your hot dog besides sugar?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah, I'll go with some cheese. Yeah.
Like just cheese?
Thank you so much.
Sometimes you got to get
cheese. A little slice of white American every now and then will get me going on that.
A
Little
slice
cheese whiz.
Cheese on
maybe?
the whiz. Oh, whiz on a dog. Get out. Gary, kick him out. That's disgusting.
weird?
We can't do
Hold
that.
on,
Get
is that
out.
weird?
Get him out.
Devin, this is what you come here for. Devin's like, this is wilder than Pollo and Silvio.
You can get the
Hold on,
brats
hold on.
with the cheese in them already sometimes.
Are you telling me that that's a weird choice and I'm making
It's
wrong
it's really
decisions?
not. I'd like some cheese too. I'd put some cheese.
Do you have a
Whiz is
preference too? You know,
terrible.
like Willie mentioned,
Whiz
beef
is
hot
bad
dogs.
on a
specific-
sandwich too, and I don't care who in Philadelphia wants to correct me. I don't.
You know what? Just because we're talking about this, Joe.
You said you don't
I'm
like
gonna go
cheese
white
on a
American
sandwich?
right now.
You mean you, the white American? It's gonna be interesting to see what that's like in Australia.
I could be
You
one
know
of
how
your
it
kids.
goes over.
Did you say you
Noni,
don't
are you
like?
going to these
cheese on
shows?
a
Are you going to be
sandwich?
at a Pumpkins/NWA show, Noni? I know you're over in Australia.
Yep. Pumpkins NWA show coming up there. Australia World is a Vampire Tour. Going to be one hell of a tour. 15 days, 10 dates. April
Polka dot
15th to
Pam
April
on the
29th now. We had a little change in the scheduling. Hope there's no more changes on there. It's going to be big. It's going to be cool. Joe Galli and I will be doing live commentary for the crowd. So if you're there, you get to hear both of us on our best behavior that you don't hear when we're on this thing. But for the most part, guys, let me be honest with you. It was fantastic in Mexico, and I can only imagine what Australia is going to be like if Joe and myself are not killed by a spider.
Or gators,
Mm.
or crocs. I think they call them crocs down there.
Or birds, or an
Birds,
ostrich,
they got angry
or an
birds.
emu, a dingo, kangaroos,
When
very
is-
violent creatures.
When is
jacked.
Kyle gonna wrestle? My gosh, those arms.
I know.
No, never again.
Jeez,
I used
Gary.
to wrestle. You can Google it. I wasn't very good. My name is Kyle Durden back when I wrestled. I was trained by Brian Danielson, which is funny because I am not one of the best wrestlers in the world.
I thought you were trained by Aries.
I hate you so much.
I went to a seminar when I was working. That
Hey, speaking of that, Kyle,
seminar once.
when I co-signed your story the other day, I do not know how we had to be at Ring of Honor shows at the same time. There's no way that we would. If you were there when Brother ripped off Carey, because we were.
TV taping.
Yeah. I swear we had to have crossed past it at some.
I think
So,
we've stumbled
what
onto
happened
something.
in HD net taping, the big. What this? We can just talk about this right now. So Kerry Silken, former owner of Ring of Honor, had posted something online about like Ric Flair the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that."
Oh, I
We
saw
were at
that.
an HD net taping because Ring of Honor had the first HD wrestling program ever. But never got here. And we were at a taping, and Flair shows up. He was supposed to be our I don't know,
GM or
basically our
something.
Adam Pearce is on SmackDown. right
GM
now.
or some shit.
Yeah, and he goes, hey guys, real sorry. I plan on going back to WWE, and Vince is gonna be mad if I'm on anybody else's TV right now. So I just talk a lot.
We get the interesting partner breaks up.
Paid you X amount of money. Kerry's like, well, we already paid you X amount of money to be this person on camera, and he goes, yeah, just call Vince, he'll pay you back. Well, Vince McMahon never paid us back. Vince McMahon.
He
did not
never
bring
called
Flair
him up
back
either.
And
No, yeah, he had
and
to do
it
that
ended in
Australia
quite
tour
a
with
fun
Hulky.
little thing. Yeah, and so to this day, it's always affected the way I think of people outside of the ring. Fun talk.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
man.
they paid him for all of it in advance or something. Because I was at the St. Louis show. that
Yes,
he
he
was at,
did.
St. Louis, Collinsville, and he was there for that. And then I think they paid him ahead of time because that's, we got there early and put all those little HD net gimmicks out, which is now Access TV for you TV buffs out there, and set them all
The name
out or
keeps
whatever.
on changing.
And yeah, and he was there. And then I'd heard from friends that were there. They were like, "He didn't fucking show." See, I always thought that story was common knowledge, but I guess maybe it was common knowledge in the business and not to for fans. A lot of them, it's probably the first time I ever heard that. But it is
In the
true.
business.
As well as I know, it's true.
It's weird. I
Trying to
wish I
think
could go back because I had like a cable that I stumbled upon HD-net at one point and finally
Well,
got
it was
to
on
watch Ring of
satellite at the
Honor.
time. If you had like Dish or DirecTV, you could get it. It was like channel 1085 or something.
Yeah, I remember stumbling upon it because I remember the first show I saw of Ring of Honor, the main event was like Bryan Danielson and Tyler Black. That was the
Damn, that was one of Brian's last matches with the company.
Oh,
Yeah, because he was gone by that time. They had shot it previous.
Peach mango. Let's see how
let's
that
see
tastes,
here.
guys. What else we
No,
got going on?
Kyle was actually okay when he wrestled. That's from media there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was good at making other people look good, which at the end of the day is still what I have to do.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of love. The hot dog conversation is still going in the chat.
I dealt with all your cousins there, Kyle. So you must have been there somewhere. You probably had hair or something.
I did have hair. I was pretty.
You know, Larry Sweeney dressed me up in Cubs gear because we were in St. Louis. He thought I'd get heat that way.
12 large, brother.
If you've already participated in the hot dog conversation, I am now playing Tekken 5. So tell me what character you want me to play in on Tekken 5.
Isn't there a character named Tekken?
There should be, right?
Yeah, you think so.
Dr. Red Tyler in the chat. Trust him.
What did it say? No.
Oh no, he just said Dr. Red. He's a manager. He's been out on the independent scene. I've seen him a lot. He goes in there. He tells you to trust him, but you shouldn't. That's
guys. Do you know what else? I just got a hard Mountain Dew live wire the other day, and that was delicious. If anybody's in the mood for a hard seltzer that tastes like soda, I recommend it.
Was it one of you guys who told me about the energy drink, the Ghost energy drink? Because somebody told me about that at the last.
I had to get them at WrestleCade because that little corner store down the street. That's all they had, and we were all
They're
dying.
delicious though. But,
Sour and I are C4 aficionados. We always go C4. But Ghost, I have a nice little Ghost every now and then.
I'm a
Did
grown
you hear
ass
that loud ass noise?
coffee, so I don't
yeah,
know.
I did hear that.
My 70-pound dog just rolled off the bed and hit the floor like a goof. What are you doing? Brother, just
you
took
guys
a
are going to
bump.
appreciate this.
Had a
So I
dream,
was just having
Papa.
a conversation with one of my friends who is a police officer, and I was talking about homicide. And she was like, "Oh my God, it would be amazing if one day I get to meet this homicide fellow and talk to him about some of the things he's experienced in life, from a cop to a homicide." I thought you guys might pop for that. That would be a hell of a conversation. Fun fact:
I
do you know
believe
homicide was on Cops at one point in time in his youth?
Was he
As a police officer?
Yeah, sure. Let's say he was a cop. he was an extra in the background.
All right. Well,
We haven't had Nitro Pepsi, but we did have Pepsi Black in Mexico, which I believe is just Diet Pepsi.
yeah, I saw
I've had
that
Nitro
video.
Pepsi.
That's interesting. On
Nope, I've had
socials.
Nitro Pepsi. It's very creamy.
Love to hear more about that.
Okay, let's talk about
what-
Nitro Pepsi and creamy things.
Lots of questions about are there going to be hot dogs at 312? So
We'll have
So,
concessions,
maybe-
and we are also planning on having beer and wine available as well, thanks to our good friends at Madame Zuzu's that has a liquor license.
And if you're out in the area in Chicago, on Highland Park area, during the time we'll be in Chicago for the pay-per-view and the live TV tapings, you want to make sure that you are going over there and getting one of their delicious vegan subs. Vegan subs for people that don't like meat, but still want meat in their mouth.
Yeah, and actually, it's a good time to mention too that those VIP tickets are still on sale. Tickets are growing fast. If you want to go to the book signing that takes place at Madame Zuzu's, that's all
Proceeds go
part
to
of that
charity,
VIP.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
You know, those
proceeds.
3x5 wall banner flags that I'm making would be great for that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And
Yeah.
you can get those 3x5 wall banners with the code Spring Dealz. You get 20% off with them right now at the NWA shop. So make sure you do that. And also, when you're in Chicago, buy a beer for an IB boy. Alex
There you
Taylor
go.
in the chat.
You know, irritable bowel syndrome is something that I don't think enough people talk about. So I really appreciate it that Alex Taylor always likes to bring up that he's an IB boy.
Yeah, those guys have been. If you don't follow Alex Taylor and Danny Dealz on socials,
Some of the best social media you'll ever see.
I agree with that. Yeah, you gotta follow them because they are hilarious. I don't think Alex Taylor's even had the opportunity to fully just show how great he is. Just to hear him talk, he's just fun to talk to. So
Alex Taylor is.
You buy him
definitely
some
one of the
beer,
people
talk to you all night.
that I will be name dropping for the next 20 years when he becomes one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling.
oh no, that's why I'm saying you got to follow him now. Got to do it.
Get in early before the cool kids are like, "Oh, you're just a front runner," you know, like when you were a Patriots fan in the aughts.
Heather Hunley mentioning the meatball sub at Madame Zuzu's. If you wanted a suggestion when you're in Chicago, that's where you go over in Highland Park. Get that meatball sub. That's what I actually really, really want. I hear so much about it.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I want.
Why you got to repeat him? Listen, Kyle, open your ears.
Kyle 2 times over here.
Guys, it was a Spice Girls song.
We know.
Shut up, Kyle.
We know.
Mike is asking Dealz if you're going to have any 312 posters for sale.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We always have posters.
Yeah, I will.
All right. So
he wants some unsigned ones. Yeah. I'll have some posters.
Suggesting Lou Malnati's deep dish.
I do. I like
Mike loves the unsigned poster. So does Joe. Hey,
I like a clean one.
For real, what was the discount code for the NWA shop? Well, glad you asked, Mark. I'll throw it back up there again for you. It is Spring Dealz. 20% off. I'll leave it up for a minute. So
what a wasted opportunity. When you said I'm going to throw it up for you, I thought you were going to post the video of them getting slapped by Medusa.
Oh, man. You know what? If I'd only thought of that, then this would have been a lot funnier. We'll take what we can get.
I didn't see
speaking
it.
Of Medusa, I'm told that there's 3 Danny Dealz references in her book. So make sure you pick that up and get it signed by Danny Dealz too.
There's that book. The woman who would be king, the Medusa story. Got to get that. I already have my copy, as a matter of fact. I have it right now.
Now you just need to learn how to read and you'll be all set.
Oh, rude. What the fuck, dude?
No, it's good. Earn that. This is what I like about this portion of the show.
Hey, listen. So let's just do this publicly here. Gary trying to get Joe and I not on the show because he feels like we're disruptive.
That is 100% not true. And I don't know what I said that makes you say that.
I read it that way too. I
just read the text. And that text out very much like, hey, guys, you get off subject. You're kind of say things disruptive. The chat gets upset about the language that's used.
Adult content
that happen.
Yeah.
We talk over each other. Yep.
That's Kyle's gimmick.
Like, what did I text?
That's Kyle's gimmick. That's why he texted. He goes, you not want me on there?
Yeah. I literally responded with, okay, I get it. If there's a problem, you can just tell Joe and I. And they're like, no, it's not that. It's just I don't have time to talk to you guys. But I'm going to do all the interviews before you guys come on the show. And then 7 o'clock. Guys, I live in a new development and all the houses look the same. It's very confusing.
Kick ass. You'll be in the car the whole time. You'll be like
Hogan with Kyle.
Monday night episode. You'll be in the car.
I apologize, Kyle. I did not mean
No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just overly sensitive lately and I break down into tears at any moment. That's all. It's not your fault.
Look at Kyle Hogan. You're like Hogan in the first Monday TNA episode. You're going to be in that car for the whole show.
The real thing that happened
I'm just trying to find the venue and then I'm going to do a run-in.
I was already going to do one thing so I've been thinking about ideas to help grow this thing.
Has
like,
anybody seen
do it and make it make more sense for a podcast and stuff like that. What?
Nothing. I was just being Hogan. Let me say some derogatory remarks about people that don't look like me, brother.
Hey, chill out, Kyle.
Sorry.
Wow. No. But,
same hairline.
Look at Pam. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you. No. I was going to say, but today, what really happened that just decided like, oh, well, just go ahead and make a decision on this was that everybody I talked to couldn't do the show. And this was all this weekend. And then the people that could, it was like Chris Silvio, I was going to get him and Savages. And then it was like, well, available like 6:30 or so. And then I got a class like after 7. And so I was like, all right, we'll do that. And then Pollo hit me up and was like, hey, I got all this makeup on. And like Pollo, I don't even know if I was supposed to say this was going to be on Renee Paquette's show, but then like it got rescheduled. And then so like was like, I got all this makeup. Can I come on the live stream? I'm available. Like I can come on at 6. And I'm like, all right, this is perfect. We'll just do that. We'll just start early and I will jump on with you guys and we'll do some interviews and then we'll move into the regular show afterwards.
I like Renee Paquette.
Yeah. So that's why it all happened today the way it did. It was all last minute. It was just like, oh, it's just the way it works. If we're gonna have interviews. It's gotta happen early. And I'm sorry, Alex Taylor.
Kyle Triven.
I'm getting burned all over
Who
the place.
bleeds on a house show? That's all I'm gonna say. Just putting that out there.
Hey, oh, that was weird. Hey, Garrison, why don't you tell us what's on Power tomorrow? It's your show.
Yeah.
All right. I will, Danny Dealz, because Power is going to be huge tomorrow night at 6:05 on YouTube. The new best home for NWA. I don't know if I never
Look at that.
derogatory.
Let's look at that graphic. That's all you need
Look
to
at
know.
it. It's beautiful.
A lot of amazing people.
Oh, look at this. Check this out. How
Cruzito
about,
made that. He's an artist.
Do you like A24? Do you like A24 films? Do you like the fact that Zac Efron's making a movie called The Iron Claw? Well, two of the stars of that movie that play the Freebirds are going to go head-to-head tomorrow night on NWA Power. Thrillbilly
That's a
Silas
great
Mason,
point.
of course, with Pollo. It's going to be taking on Brady Pierce with Rolando.
Now, even though Thrillbilly cheated Alex Taylor this past weekend, we did jump him later, by the way. I still have money on the Thrill Machine.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I wish that Zac Efron was going to be refereeing. That's the only thing I was hoping for, but not yet.
Why?
Because he's in the movie that they're both in. You're
Are
talking.
you going to have the whole cast there?
You got Jerry Floyd versus Michael P.S. Hayes right there tomorrow night on NWA.
Buddy Roberts is going to be on the camera.
Yeah, Buddy Roberts. Was it he? Who is Buddy Roberts?
Don't Jesus Christ Almighty! Don't even say it.
Okay.
Damn, Gary.
All right, I won't.
Gary's failing.
I was not aware of whatever this is. Anyway,
The
How about this
Freebirds.
Ooh, that Gracie Kill guy. He's got a look.
Yeah.
no, not like who is Buddy Roberts. I meant in the movie who is playing Buddy Roberts.
No, don't try
Another
to
wrestler-
Now he's
is-
backtracking. Now he's
No,
backtracking.
another wrestler is playing Buddy Roberts, and I was trying to remember which wrestler is playing Buddy Roberts. So saying who is Buddy Roberts in the movie? Oh my God.
I don't know, Joe.
Anyway, all this abuse I suffer.
Let's see that next graph.
Yeah, the next graphic. How about Trevor Murdoch? Who is this Daisy Kill guy? He
He's
took
done some
on
run-ins.
Rush Freeman. Got a victory
Yeah,
already.
you know, if you
in
watched
Power.
USA on Saturday.
Yeah,
You
come
know
on,
who he
Gary.
was.
Obviously, not a fan of the
Did I
show.
not?
You don't
Did I
watch?
not just say that? Did I not just say he just
didn't
beat
hear it.
Rush Freeman? But I'm saying, like, we don't know much about Daisy Kill except that he interfered in the matchup with Trevor Murdoch in Beast Mode. And then now he's taken on Rush Freeman. We've seen him in the ring. He's already got a win. But
Beast
Trevor
Mode needed
Murdoch,
the help
all
could
he
get.
knows is he wants to beat his face in, and he's going to get that chance tomorrow night. I mean, if he wants, they're going to beat face to face. I assume he wants to beat fist to face with
Yeah,
Daisy Kill.
Beast Mode needed all the help he could get. That brother needed a GPS to find his way around the ring.
What?
That's an Earl Hebner. I can't take credit for that quote. It wasn't about him.
It was still delectable.
That was beautiful. Oh, Kyle's back. There he is.
Hey, Kyle, where you been?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh, you found the
I
house.
with my
I like your
finger.
countertop.
Thanks.
My God, what is Davis Kyle doing in the Impact Zone?
No. How's everybody doing right now? I'm out.
All right,
Good. We're talking about the show.
Yeah, we're trying to
I
get
know.
the rest
I
of the
don't know if you
card.
heard me about talking about. Daisy
Listen.
Kill. I said one hell of a ukulele player.
Another matchup. They're running it back. Camille is taking on Angelina Love. No, they're not running it back. This is her encore presentation. So
In case you missed
Ladies
it,
and gentlemen, we talked about it earlier tonight, but Camille has been on such a roll, the NWA World Women's Champion. She's unstoppable. And we thought, what a better time to showcase her abilities than in a no disqualification match. Coming at you, enough said, repeat performance. And Angelina Love, congratulations, just got engaged.
oh yeah, to Fodder. Well, we had Fodder on it. Yeah, it was
The
like right
aspiring
before.
rapper Fodsky.
Yeah,
You only got that information here. I'll tell you that.
yeah. Look at that. That's the stuff you learned from the live stream. But yeah,
Sorry,
there's
guys,
no
I give way
DQ
too much
match.
information.
If you missed enough said, this is where you want to be. Because
Hey, who do you think wins this match?
amazing.
Who you betting on this match?
I don't know.
I
have
bet
no
on
idea.
the fans. I bet on the fans
Yeah,
enjoying
the fans are the winners
Fans
when
are
it comes
always
to
the
this
winners.
matchup.
Ain't that a thing of beauty?
Are you drinking an energy drink right now, Kyle?
I'm drinking a Mountain Dew Hard Live Wire. It's the
You
orange
planning to
flavor.
stay up a
new.
while or what?
Up all night, stay a little longer, baby.
All righty.
This is delicious, folks. If you've had the opportunity to, this is the big boy can right here. But the fifth flavor from Mountain Dew. It's the hard Mountain Dew, 0 sugar. Doesn't taste like it though. Definitely some magic going on here. 5% alcohol. Please drink responsibly. That and C4, ladies and gentlemen. It's how one gets through the day.
Is it 8% or is it 5%?
It's 5%.
Okay.
Kyle's trying to get a sponsorship.
Listen,
he's going to have.
That's all it takes. That's
like
all it takes. When you're
like
a little
a BMX
man,
brother, he's
you need
going
a
to
little
have
alcohol.
the patches all over his announce jacket.
My God, that would be amazing.
What else is on Power?
Well, that's it. That's all the graphics we have for the show. So I'm not sure unless you guys have seen the episode already. That's what we have right now.
I actually haven't seen the episode already.
I've seen that
when it happened, but I'm waiting for a screener.
Yeah, I have not seen the screener yet, but
Guys,
that is
also,
what we have announced
Anybody picked the
thus
character from
far.
Tekken 5 yet? I haven't seen it in the chat.
I'm cheating on Big Papa popcorn right now with drizzled popcorn, peanut butter cup. I don't think this is going to be anywhere near as good as Big Papa popcorns, but I ran out. Going to have to make another order. And I'm just going to keep on plugging products that I like and see what happens.
What do you think, Gary? Solid plan or what?
I think it's a solid plan, Danny Dealz.
Tekken, I need you to play as King. He's the wrestler.
I am playing as King. Look at that. He's right there. I'm beating up a little schoolgirl. I'm like Kenny Omega. Hey-oh.
Oh, my God.
I thought you were going to make a joke about somebody else in the news. Good call not doing that.
I'm going to make a graphic for this NWA After Hours, like where anything can happen.
I'm going to put the
Arista
ketchup
tried the
on
original
the pantry.
version of Mountain Dew Hard and thought it tasted like cough medicine.
Well,
maybe Kyle
that's
likes
on
cough
you.
medicine.
Devin
do like
Dowling
cough
wants us
medicine.
to plug NWA Powerrr. Where were you? Where were you just now, Devin?
We just ran through the card, yeah.
Come on now. Catch up.
Well, then wrap it up.
catch
Do
up.
it one more. Do it one more again, Gary. Tell everybody the match is on there, and then we'll do a merch plug.
Oh, you know what? There was a graphic that I just saw that I missed too. So we'll hit
Son of
that
a
one
bitch.
on the way
Plug's
in.
coming.
Seriously,
It's
guys.
coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Eight bottles of ketchup. Buy one, get one right now. I just paid for 4 of those.
Wow, that is amazing. Good deal.
Thanks.
All right, so NWA Powerrr tomorrow night, 6:05. You're going to get the Thrillbilly Silas Mason versus Brady Pierce, a one-on-one match. That's going to be awesome. You want to check that out. Of course, Pollo Del Mar, and Rolando are going to be in the corners of their respective opponents.
Can you just do this like Don West? Just do it like Don West.
Do it.
Nobody can do it like Don.
Nobody,
I was going to say, I definitely cannot do it like Don West.
Tuesday week
like
Don
Don
for you.
I can't even do it.
Daisy
I'm not going to
Bill and
try.
Trevor Murdoch. This man right there, ukulele.
Face to face. This is a life-changing event. And Camille versus Angelina Love. That's a long match. It's a good match, actually.
And then also, of course, I can't believe that I almost missed out on telling you guys this one. The semifinals for the NWA World Women's TV
Who's
title. We
going
love
to
our Taya
Chicago?
Valkyrie. She's still got one more match to go in the NWA here to try to advance onto the TV title so she can just dominate the world. She's got to get through Maxie and Paler, though, to do that with Father James Mitchell. So
It's weird. Taya kind of looks like this other person
everywhere.
I saw.
Can she do it here? So that's going to be interesting. The winner of that match, by the way, if you haven't been following along, is going to advance on to Chicago on April the 7th for NWA 312, and they're going to face Kenzie Page in the finals of that tournament. So what are these three?
I did not enjoy watching Bubblegum get knocked out. That was very mean.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Dealz. They mentioned that in the chat. CJ got knocked out cold on NWA USA.
Oh, Bubblegum. That's why she wasn't in the ads on this last run.
This recent NWA USA was weirder than usual.
What was on the last one?
Right.
That wasn't the one with the
What
surge
specifically,
squad.
Scott?
What was weirder about it?
I don't know.
That's one man's opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Was
Yeah.
that because of the 3-person commentary team you weren't used to?
No. That
Guess
was
what?
That was a
We're
long
coming
time
back.
before.
no. We were.
That
on
wasn't
the-
this week, was it? That was last week.
Yeah, it was the week before.
I don't know.
Which we won awards for that, Kyle. I was shocked actually. I thought they'd trash it.
Nobody sent me the award in the mail, so that's upsetting.
It's on the way.
No, I enjoyed it. I believe I complimented you both on that. I thought it was nice to know, and we love our Joe Galli, but it was
Speaking
just
of
neat to
awards.
hear like a different commentary team. We love Velvet and Joe, but it was just
You
You
know,
guys had a
speaking of
weird,
awards,
like an interesting chemistry together. It was
they're-
nice, and even Candy was just like surprisingly just like great
Candy's
on
unstoppable.
commentary because
She's
you don't
coming
get
for
to hear
all of
her
us.
talk that often.
This last Saturday, I don't know what was weird about it. I watched it in a Mexican restaurant with Alex and Plunkett on my phone.
What did you guys get at the
You guys-
Mexican restaurant? Hold on. While we're talking about Mexican restaurants and people and liking everything like that, am I the only one that likes mole on my enchiladas? I don't like the red sauce. I don't like the green sauce. I need that rich chocolatey mole.
I have a chocolate allergy, but other than that, yeah, mole is pretty delicious.
Hold on. Joe Galli has a chocolate allergy?
Yeah, I can't eat chocolate.
I've never heard this before, and I travel with you constantly.
Do you ever see me eat chocolate?
You know, now that I think about it, no. But you also don't eat like trash like I do.
That's also true.
Devin says Kinsey is winning the TV title. She's going to defend it 7 times. Then she's defeating Camille for the Burke.
Wow.
I would bet on Kenzie to win it. That's my pick. I don't care who she's wrestling.
Hey,
Chicago.
I don't bet against Camille, but Kinsey Page is consistently just.
We're talking about the TV title.
Better and better.
Yeah.
We're talking about TV.
Well, no. I'm just saying. Assuming that Kinsey gets the TV title, that his prediction was that she'll get it, defend it 7 times, and then she's going to go on to beat Camille for the Burke.
I predict she's going to win it. So let's start there.
Kyle, are you picking what seasonings you want to add to your hard seltzer?
No, I was trying to figure out what to add to my Publix chicken sandwich. Garlic, lemon, herb. That's a good choice. We also have a Arizona black scorpion sting. It's peppers and jalapeno powder. Nashville hot chicken, or I think I might go Old Bay. I'm going Old Bay.
Old Bay?
I love.
I'm a
Did you
chicken.
just
Like
move
seafood,
into this
isn't
house
it?
too? Did you just like? I mean, like the one thing that seems like it is ready to go is that spice cabinet. Like you.
Yeah, so I've slowly but surely been getting unpacked for the last week, and the spice cabinet I did steal from my my former home, and yeah, this stuff's been sitting in my car for 2 months now. So yeah, I'm here now.
Stole
You
it
guys will
from
see my
former
office
home.
next Monday. You'll see my office.
That's exciting.
All right.
He's gonna get all set up. Where have you been doing the podcast from?
My bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, the one time he was in Home Depot or some shit.
Well, no, I meant the.
No, he's talking
oh,
about
the
the,
other
the
one.
33
The other.
podcast, which is winding down, almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done with
33 weeks. I never thought it would happen, but we're almost there. Cancel, add 30 seconds. There we go. You know, the 33 podcast, autumn's coming out next month, April. I can't believe it's already April. What is going on with the world? We got Chicago coming up in just over 2 weeks, which is it's a lot of stuff going on right at that point. Then Australia. Then this summer, we have a little something that's fun that'll be happening that we can't talk about right now. But if you like Smashing Pumpkins and wrestling and stuff, who knows? Maybe you'll get another opportunity. It's just the sky is the limit for everything going on, guys, and it's overwhelming. So I want you to know, this is Kyle being real for you. If you ever feel overwhelmed, just remember you're not the only one going through stuff. Talk to your friends, try to distract yourself. If you feel like you need wedges, get wedges. Do something that makes you happy, as long as it's in moderation. Speaking of in moderation, handle your alcohol responsibly and in moderation.
This has been a PSA from Kyle Davis.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my cheese to melt. There we go.
I almost said Durden. I almost said Kyle Durden. That was.
I haven't used Durden in forever, baby.
Let's see. Noni says, I bought a jar of ground chili in the U.S., cooked with it, and it tasted weird. It had sugar in it. So bizarre.
You know what's a really good chili? If you ever want this, mother-in-law's Korean chili flakes, also delicious.
Did you say Korean?
Korean.
Oh, Korean. Okay, he did say Korean.
Although I do have a shirt that does say pro-Muslim on it. So
Hey, go for it. The Devin wants us to come to New York. I think New York's going to be a spot eventually, like it has to be. New York's a lot of our viewership comes from New York for sure.
I would love to be in New York, guys. I have friends in New York. I would love to go visit and be a part of that. I just came from up north there. Saw Pat Kenny, head of talent relations, on my way down the road. That was fun. But New York City, New York State, anywhere in New England, I'm all for us going there because let's face it, as a New England boy, I need to be back in my home area. I've only been gone for a week, but I'm ready to come back.
Other than New York being a pain in the ass to run logistically. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we're just going to talk about that.
Yeah. Once you're in there, it looks great.
Let's talk about some of these 3-1-2 things too for these people that might not have seen all these graphics. These are the ones I've seen that I think are approved.
I guess we're going to find out.
Well, you got the Women's World Tag Team Championship match. Maddie and Missa Kate are taking on Pretty Empowered, defending those titles. So that's going to be a big one.
We got here, Kyle.
That's the rematch clause there. I got to be honest with you. These tag team titles are ping-ponging back and forth. Pretty Empowered has the ability to win them back every time they get a rematch. I got to be honest with you. This one could be short-lived for Missa and Maddie in their own area. Chicago, could it be a curse for the champions?
3 members of Pretty Empowered going to be in title matches on that show. So that's fun too. For anybody who doubts them, who thinks that they, because Pretty Empowered can catch you off guard because they seem like, like the teenage girls, like they're just all over the place. But then no, there's something devious about those ladies. They get the job done when it's time.
And they're not teenagers.
Well, I mean, Gary, we don't know who's going to be in the TV title match for the Women's TV Championship. You're just speculating right now that Kenzie's going to get that far.
No, she did get that far. She got to the finals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She is. We got to watch Taya and Max to see who faces Kenzie.
Yeah,
wow. Kenzie beat Frenchie the other day.
Yeah, she got into the finals.
Guys, remember, time is just a structure. I don't even know what day of the week it is right now.
It's Monday.
Let's see. Also, how about this? The national title is on the line. National Heavyweight Championship match between the Great Scion with Austin Idol versus EC3 with G's in his corner. We talked to G's last week. It's an interesting dynamic at play here. But what are you calling for this one?
New champion EC3. Listen, G's has something to prove. He split away. Idol maybe added to that divisiveness in the whole deal with Tyrus there, but I think G's has something to prove, and he's picking the man himself, EC3. Anything he's going to do to get this title off of Scion just to prove a point. Church's money. That's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Trey also.
All right. Well, EC3 being picked by 2 of the folks here. I mean, that is EC3. Like you put all the cards on the table there. I mean, he does seem like
EC3 as a champion.
I'm not just picking EC3. I'm picking Black G's.
Yeah, G's also.
Why EC is going to win.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a great point. All right. Well, what about in this one when we've got Camille taking on La Rosa Negra, who is cashing in and getting a World Women's Championship match?
Well, I love La Rosa. She's my buddy. However, Camille, until I have to see it to believe it. Until somebody beats her, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, here's my take on this. Camille's been all over the world, just coming back from Mexico. At some point, the constant challenging, the constant having to fend, the constant having to live up to being one-time champions, it's gonna weigh. It's gonna take its toll. This could be the opportunity. La Rosa Negra could be in the right place at the right time. Camille may lose the title here in Chicago.
Woof. Oh, man, that could be. I mean, it has to scientifically, you would assume it has to happen at some point, I suppose. But we'll see. We'll see if it's in Chicago at 312 on April 7th. Speaking of championships, World's Heavyweight Championship is on the line.
Chris Adonis.
Tyrus.
I'm going Chris Masters.
Whoa.
I'm going Chris Adonis.
Well, all right. Same brother. Yeah, Chris Adonis. That's my pick.
Yeah, I was watching NWA Powerrr last week, and just to throw it out there, I mean, Tyrus did cut this promo, which did make me intrigued.
I am the undisputed NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I am the undisputed face of TV. And I am the boogeyman under the internet's beds at night. So I hope that you all get on your keyboards and get behind Adonis, who sounds and looks like a god. But even Achilles, when his mama had him by his little ankle and dipped him in the water so he could live forever, somebody put an arrow and he was gone. No, you're not Achilles, you are Adonis. And the master lock, when he locks that thing on and puts people to sleep, he's got to be behind him. He's got to be dominating him. And he's got to have big enough arms to get, check it out, cameraman zoom, to get on these shoulders. I don't think Zeus himself could lock it on the champ.
There you have it. Tyrus doesn't even think Chris Adonis could put the master lock on him. So without that, if that's not even at play, does Adonis still stand a chance against the world's heavyweight champion?
I think he could do it. I think he could do it.
Do you think Tyrus really believes that, or do you think Tyrus wants Chris to believe he can't do it?
I don't know. I think he could do it.
Dealz thinks he can do it.
All I know is this. Chris Adonis has been looking for an opportunity in the NWA since he came through the door. He's finally getting it. I don't think he's going to take this lightly. And I think Tyrus sometimes takes some of the competition lightly. When you're that big, you're that strong, and everything else, you have the ability to kind of underestimate your opponents because you're just used to being able to hit them with a heart punch and end this. That's all it's going to take. Underestimating, and then Chris wanting it more.
Somebody posted on socials, I did see that they mentioned, if we would go back to him being a part of Bobby Fulton's team, him and Rhett Titus teaming up, he did lock that thing on Wrecking Ball Legursky. So there is that. So I don't know. I think Adonis does have a good chance of locking this thing on Tyrus. If he can dominate, like Tyrus pointed out, you do have to get there in that position. But
Legursky's big too. He gets kicked out of buffets. So if Masters could put it on him, he could put it on Tyrus. Although Tyrus might be a little bit.
I saw him right before Tampa. The cops were everywhere. He had flipped over a pizza delivery truck and ate everything inside. So that is Legursky, though.
Yeah.
He's a different dude. All right. Well, that is what we have for 312 right now, officially, that I can show you.
Joe Galli's not coming back, is he? He just powdered out. It was 8 o'clock, and he had to. Yeah, I'll be right back. He's never coming back.
And he didn't. He didn't come back. Well, screw us, I guess. Other thing I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on before we wrap this thing up is I don't know if you watched the Oscars this last week, but Aaron Stevens found his brother in Morgan Freeman modeling the glove. And if you've been following along, Aaron Stevens released this little less than a minute here, but a press conference on social media.
Thank you all very much for coming. First of all, I would like to address the Morgan Freeman fashion statement made at the Oscars. The man wore a black glove on his left hand. Obviously, he is a giant fan of mine, and I'm a huge fan of his. So as a gesture of friendship and goodwill, I am publicly giving Morgan Freeman the black glove on the left-hand look. I am a man who goes forward. I am a man who evolves. In NWA 312, April 7th in Chicago, I am going to evolve because Blunt Force Trauma, BFT, are the rightful NWA Tag Team Champions, and they should be the recognized NWA Tag Team Champions. Mark my words, justice will be served, and the world at NWA 312 April 7th and or the Power tapings on April 8th in Chicago will see the unveiling of Lucille. Justice is on its way.
All right, and so
my
Aaron
mind
Stevens
went right to the gutter about what that hand is doing with that towel.
All right, well,
it's a loose seal.
It's Lucille. He's hiding it. You
just
can't
can't
see
see
it
it
until April
back.
7th
What
at
does the world
312.
come to?
You're going to see Blunt Force Trauma challenge La Rebellion. I don't have a graphic for that one, but they are in line to challenge La Rebellion for the World's Tag Team Championships. Tag Team Championships. Anyway, that's going to be a good one.
No.
Anyway.
Oh, boy.
Dealz.
On this name, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go blow my nose. Hold on. Excuse me.
Okay. Gary, I got one of your favorite movies on over here. I got Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf on.
That is a classic, Danny Dealz. I really love the first one, as a matter of fact. But,
yeah, well, they go off the rails after that.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
I feel like Gary would be more of a Sleepwalkers fan with like cat people and incest. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my forte.
That was the name of the movie, right, Dealz?
Yeah, Sleepwalkers. Yeah,
it was Sleepwalkers.
Chop
Yeah,
kebab.
I remember that.
What a weird movie.
It was a super weird one, and weird that you brought it up because I don't know many people that just pull that one out at random times in conversation. So,
what'd you want them to say? Flatliners?
Hey,
the remake wasn't that good.
That seems more.
I've heard the remake.
Yeah,
although Stephen
I haven't
King
heard
does
much
make some weird movies. Speaking of Sleepwalkers, because it's based on a Stephen King novel, if I remember right, or a short story. Maximum Overdrive, just the man coked out of his mind trying to make his own directorial debut. Just, oof.
Oh yeah. That was from a short story, Trucks. That was in Night Shift.
Also, when he was Richard Bachman, his other nom de plume, he wrote Running Man, which is a very different book based off of the. Yeah,
it sure is. The movie's awesome, but the book is different.
I've never read the book or read much about the book, but I love that.
Same concept, but the brother is nowhere near Arnold. Like it's not. Yeah. That's way more. But the movie's good. You gotta love it. Hey, Killian. Here's Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero.
Shout out to Jody the Kid.
Richard Dawson. Never realized Richard Dawson wasn't just on The Feud. He was in Hogan's Heroes. I was never a big fan of Hogan's Heroes because the premise just weirded me the hell out.
Richard Dawson was on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
crazy.
We were talking movies on this last loop, and Plunkett wasn't aware that Leslie Nielsen at one time was a serious actor. Mm-hmm. Which it's hard to see him that way. When I was a kid, I saw him in Airplane first, and then I saw him in Creepshow, and I kept waiting for him to crack jokes. You know what I mean? But then, he was apparently a serious actor at one point.
If you are a funny person, you are usually very good at drama because for some reason those two things balance so well.
Yeah, well, he was great.
Adam Sandler's a great serious actor when he has to be too.
Some people.
Yeah, if I can't sleep, Adam Sandler's awesome. You just put it on and I'm out.
Ooh.
Yeah. I get it. All right.
No, I like him when he's in a drop.
Shade
Funny
on
People is a
Sandler.
great freaking. Have you ever seen Funny People? Great movie, and then the extra bonus ending there where it just gets super dark and he learns nothing as a human being. Also, I like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, think about anything else you've got to add to this show, and we'll be happy to do that after I show you the one thing that the people need for them to be able to sleep on a Monday night, and that's a moment of Sal.
They say home is where the heart is. Home on the range. Click your heels 3 times and you can get taken home. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yeah. I just want to go home.
Oh, thank you, Sal. And wear the Cardiland shirt. I like that. You can still get those on NWA shop, I believe.
Oh, yeah. They're in the clearance section because now there's sections. Hey, did you tell them the code?
Oh, man, did I? But I'm happy to show them again. Spring Dealz gets you 20% off at National Wrestling Alliance.
And there's new stuff up that you could pre-order, and I'll have in a couple weeks to send you. Did you show them those?
Yeah.
The giant flags. They're basically flags. They're giant, but it's vertical image.
Look at those things.
Look at those things.
Gorgeous.
I want all of them.
Look at it.
I do. I don't know where I'm going to put them, but I've got some space back
in the
here.
back of your podcast studio.
Yeah, you put that Throwbilly one on your ceiling.
That's right above the bed.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Great. Yeah, I love those, and I love this shirt and the new tank there. So these are going to be nice.
I want that shirt.
And I still haven't gotten the green hoodie, so maybe now's the time. Now that there's this awesome code that you can get. Spring
code
Deal.
Isn't working. Hold on a second. Spring Dealz. Oh, snap. It's not Spring Dealz.
Oh, no.
Actually, here's the text where I sent it to you. March Dealz. Here's the proof.
No.
Bring into March, fool.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
How did I miss that?
March Dealz.
Oh,
You
that was
didn't
worth coming
save,
back.
and I
That was
was
so worth coming back.
Oh, there it is. March Dealz.
March Dealz. Sorry about that.
20%
March.
off.
You know, when you
Let's
upload
see.
this to YouTube, maybe you can edit that part out, Gary.
Yeah, well,
It's too late. We're already on YouTube.
what are we without our?
Oh, that's right.
We're only.
But I have the text to prove it.
It's too late to turn back now.
Listen, this was just Dealz trying to find out if people pay attention and actually use those codes, and they did. Thank you for finding out.
Yeah. See, it works.
You found the
Don't market
marble in the
that through.
oatmeal, and you know what that means. You get to drink from the fire hose.
There you go. Well,
Yeah. See that?
Oh,
What a random
Got
dude,
Dealz for you
was.
like I'm
Lovely.
Columbia House. Which
Which means Dealz is just going to send you shit you don't want and then
That's
charge
it.
you for it.
that's
10
it.
cassettes for a penny. Don't say you never did
you
it. I
could-
did it a bunch of times. I didn't even
You-
like
you
it.
could- I was about to say you get to order like 7 things that you do want with the promise that you'll order like 5 more over the next like 3 years.
No, I ordered like 10 things from there. I got is Pam in the chat still and Heather? They like this one. I got one of them was a Cure cassette I gave to a girl, and then the other 9 I took to the record exchange and flipped.
What was the Cure album?
Disintegration.
My favorite. Yes,
It was-
baby.
Pam was fighting back with you on
Yes.
Adam Sandler.
Well, it was 89,
Yeah.
but I took the other 9, took them to the record exchange, and they gave me like $2 or whatever. And I bought a
Guys.
live bootleg of the Sex Pistols' last show at the Winterland in 1978. It had a flyer
not-
taped on the cover.
Do you not get enough vegetables, folks? Well, you should try some organic super greens. Put it with your favorite beverage.
They're
Put
like
it
the
in there.
cheapest thing at the grocery store. I don't know.
That Kirkpatrick in the chat? That's the abs of steel. You guys don't know nothing about that, brother. He's got
Kirkpatrick?
abs
The
of
dude from
steel.
NSYNC?
He abs of steel. He heard this is a shoot. We were on an indie show in Kentucky in like 2008 or something, and brother speared him and screwed his shoulder because he just flexed. I was like, that's like the reverse spear. He was like, that's a reverse spear. He just tightened up. Brother hurt his shoulder. So he's been the abs of steel ever since. I don't know if he still got him or not. That was a long time ago, but tightened up, perfect defense against the spear. You know that, Joe. You're always getting ripped.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
He heard none of it. He's like, yep.
Yeah. Look at this right here.
Look
Mhm.
at that. All right, folks. Well, I guess that's it for today's show. You've had your moment of Sal. You've had your Kyle. He's enjoying his greens.
Ugh.
You mix it with apple juice and you barely taste the vegetable.
But that's just pure sugar. The apple juice is all sugar. You're getting nothing.
So you
out
get
of it.
100% pure pressed apple juice. You get the natural stuff. You're good to go.
Your
on that.
liver can't tell the difference. It's just sugar. My God.
He just drank 10 Mountain Dew seltzers or whatever. So
Hey.
What
There's
do I
zero
know? Look
sugar
at
in
him. Look
that.
how jacked this guy is. Don't listen to me. Look at jacked guy over here. What do I know?
That's a good point. Kyle's,
Oh, I know.
Listen.
Kyle the
Play to
Body
whatever
Davis.
Your body type is. I wish I was lean. I wish I was sexy. I wish I was Joe Galli. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kyle Davis. I'm just a guy trying to get through the day. I'm short. I'm rotund. I'm going through a midlife crisis. I'm not always happy, but let me tell you, the tears, they bring joy and humor to all those around me, other than Joe Galli, because you got to listen to me bitch and moan and cry every day of my life.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, this is what Joe said.
I'm with you, Noni.
Why don't you just buy the vegetables?
I buy vegetables.
Because the
and
only
apples.
vegetable I like is broccoli, and then I have to prepare it, and time is money, baby.
You can
I
eat
barely
broccoli
made it to this
raw.
podcast.
I make a salad in like 2 minutes, and I put
Listen,
like 3
Joe.
dressings on.
I don't like lettuce, and I don't like dressing.
I don't use
Here's the
lettuce.
thing.
I just use
If you're gonna
broccoli.
go
Ladies and gentlemen,
raw,
what's your favorite vegetable in the chat? And we'll
If you're
rank.
gonna go raw, I also like a little grilled asparagus. That's
Welcome to
good.
the Vegetable Podcast. We're all
Tomato.
Zucchini is
vegetables.
good.
Well, actually, technically, tomatoes are fruit, so I would have to
I
say
don't
maybe
like
broccoli.
tomatoes. I don't like
maybe
vinegar.
I love the
cauliflower.
way you
Ketchup.
spelled broccoli with the little accent mark and everything. That's
Look
nice.
at
Look
that.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's like-
Kyle's actually getting jacked, so people don't take the microphone for him anymore when he's interviewing.
Hey,
Brussels sprouts.
nope.
Now they'll grab it
I
Like
like
microphone.
Brussels
Brussels
sprouts a lot.
yesterday.
and won't go anywhere. He'll say, "That's my microphone."
Brussels sprouts are really good, but I also need to have those grilled. Potato is a starch, and also it is my favorite food. And also, I'll tell you that right now. Check this out. In
It's
my
your favorite
kitchen,
food? What are you, Irish? Oh,
I
good.
actually am. I'm also Scottish. Look at him.
Is
Look at that
that-
French fry sweating.
Is he from Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No. Although you're thinking Frylock.
Wow, now that was a good
You're
pull
thinking
there.
Frylock, yeah, Frylock.
Frylock.
I always like
I
meatball.
prefer C-Lab.
Yeah, meatball is
C-Lab
great.
2021
Lettuce,
was my
onion,
go-to at that
carrots.
time. All right. Axel Gonzalez,
Who loves
you're
lettuce?
healthy. I bet
Come
the
on, Axel,
insides of
don't
your
lie.
body
No one
don't look
loves
like you're dying.
Lettuce is a weird one to say you love. I don't know. I guess I kind of like
There.
the crunch of it. Maybe
Stop.
I like it on a burger.
I love lamp.
but it's it doesn't really have like a taste.
swirling this horrible concoction like it's a fine frickin' wine over here.
Don't smell it. That's the mistake. If you smell it, it's bad. I
That's
like
called
Carl.
meat wad. Thank you, Polka Dot Pan.
We were talking about abs, and Carl had one of my favorite things. Like, it's very important to have abs when you get
Hey,
Oh,
sick.
how was my experience on Busted Open? Yeah, in case you missed it, folks. I don't think you can find it on their podcast feed, but can you go back if you have the subscription to Sirius?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
Yeah,
you
because
can
I
go
got
back.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the app, yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, go back and listen because we talked a lot of good wrestling. I got to talk with Mark Henry, which was always fun. Last time I saw him was at a Mission Pro show in Buda, Texas. So it was cool to see him and talk to him a little bit about 312. And we just put it over. It's all the stuff we've been talking about here, folks, and much more. But it's nice to be able to talk to that audience.
Oh, so you guys were talking about vegetables and shit like that?
We were talking about vegetables and video games and energy drinks. That's exactly what we did.
All right.
No, you
Oh,
have
we
a
broke it.
different definition of a cheat meal than I would.
Why? Those are all
No.
vegetables.
That's not
No,
a
but
cheat
she
meal.
said her favorite cheat meal is chopped carrot, beans, broccoli, zucchini,
That sounds like a very healthy thing. My cheat meal is a cheesecake, like a whole cheesecake.
yeah.
My hair's getting long.
There goes. So
You're going to look
Uh,
like me soon, Joe.
Polka Dot Pam
Yeah,
says
I'd
it
like
was
that.
great on Busted Open.
Oh, thank you, Pam.
Yeah. All right, well, we got to get out of here, or my wife's going to
Mhm.
get me. So it's time
Yeah,
to wrap this thing up.
My dog's going crazy. Bubby's trying to
I need to
tunnel
take
out
a
of the
shower.
room or
I smell
something.
awful.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you for being here and sticking around, especially if you were here for the whole time. That was awesome. It's been great hanging out with you, and we'll be here next Monday. So be back for that. Until then, you guys enjoy your